going on, everybody? We've got our Eagles versus Jaguars Week 4 preview. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like force this game, he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of A2D Wednesday Night. A2D Wednesday Night is always brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. You can win great prizes if you just sign up today by using the promo code, which is A2D, for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. Just use fanup.app to join. Not the entire crew tonight. No Tom. He's off this week. Greg, as some of you know, he's down in Florida, so Ralph, I feel like I had to remind you like 5 minutes before the show. You were like, "Where's Greg?" I don't know, Ralph. There's a thing called a hurricane.
Yeah,
It's kind of all over the news.
But prayers to everybody down in Florida, man.
Yeah,
lots of love, lots of prayers. Everybody stay safe down there.
Yeah.
And Noah, well, as usual, we have no idea where Noah is.
We think he's asleep, but
yeah,
probably
he might randomly scare us out of nowhere or give us financial plans.
He'll
at
pop
some
in
bar.
at some point shirtless.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Probably at some bar telling some guy about the 1989 World Series at the Vet or whatever.
and that Ja Rule concert at the Vet.
Yeah,
so.
the Ja Rule concert.
He might be. Listen, he might be in Florida or he might be in Alaska or anywhere in between.
Speaking of Ja Rule, R.I.P. to Coolio. I don't know if you guys just saw that drop. So
I did.
Saw that.
Freaking legend.
I notified Frank, and Frank, what was your reaction to that? You screamed.
Oh no, not Coolio.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Big week in store, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the quest to go 4-0. I think we all had high expectations for the Eagles, some really high expectations for some. But being on the doorstep of 4-0 after, we were talking about this entering week 2, and it's like, well, damn, it's been since 2016 that the Eagles have gone 2-0 because they hadn't won a week 2 game since 2016. Now we're a win against, and I'm going to make fun of this a lot, so don't think I'm being serious by saying this. We are a win against just the Jaguars away from being 4-0. So obviously things have been going really well over the last 3 weeks, and we're going to talk about especially because we didn't get a chance to recap it in full on Monday. Obviously, we'll look back on that big win against Carson Wentz and the Commanders a little bit, throughout the show. So it's not just going to be a preview. We'll share our thoughts on what we saw in last Sunday's game. But you've got a very interesting game coming back home against Doug Peterson. I definitely think it's important. And it's a shame Greg's not here because I know he has some extreme opinions on this individual. I want to have kind of a conversation a little bit later on how we view Doug Peterson as a coach. Now that it's about a year or two removed from obviously him being fired, even though we've talked about numerous times that it was more so him firing them as opposed to them firing him.
Yeah.
But kind of an overall conversation about how we view him as a coach now and how we think his legacy will always be carried as a coach when he was here in Philadelphia. So I think that's really important. Ralph's getting choked up. He left the camera, so he's going to go get some tissues. Big question, though, and this goes right to our poll question. Frank, if you want to put the poll question up on the screen for us.
Here it is.
We want to know if you agree or disagree to this poll question, because I think it's, at least looking around Twitter and a lot of the comment sections and some of the, the radio waves and some of our shows over the last couple of days, it's a little bit more mixed than I think it has been in recent weeks, which I think is good because that means, a very, I don't want to call it a very good Jacksonville Jaguars team because, listen, they're 2-1. They were a defensive collapse in week 1 away from being 3-0 because they had that game against the Commanders well in hand. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where this show goes, both in the chat and on here, because the poll question, will the Philadelphia Eagles improve to 4-0 after a win against the Jaguars on Sunday? Do you agree or disagree to that statement? You obviously get our thoughts on it. We're going to save our exact score predictions and our defensive and offensive player of the game predictions for a little while later, but we obviously want you guys to chime in. We'll get through all of your comments. I'll just start out here, and then we'll go around the room and then we'll discuss, and then I'll bring up some comments from the fam. I think it's a really interesting matchup because it's so funny how like 1 year or less than 1 year really changes how we view a team or a quarterback. And listen, we don't need to go into how much of a disaster the Urban Meyer Jacksonville Jaguars were for the multitude of reasons, both on and most of all off the field. But correct me if I'm wrong. All right. This is like a little poll question in itself. Trevor Lawrence through the first 4 weeks is probably the best quarterback this defense has faced. And I'm saying that, now that's like, I know what Trevor Lawrence was in college, right? Like sunshine, obviously never, I feel like he never had a losing season until like now. You had Kirk Cousins, you had Jared Goff, and you had Mr. Wentz. This could arguably, especially with momentum side, this could be their best quarterback that they faced.
Yeah, the Jags are also coming off that big win. I mean, huge win against the Chargers.
And it's interesting because like I made it a point the last 24 hours to really look at the Jacksonville Jaguars games, and not just the highlights, but every throw that Trevor Lawrence has made, every defensive snap, every play they've had on third down, both offensively and defensively. And unlike the first handful of weeks, what's been the storyline? It was, okay, we've got to stop Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and DeAndre Swift. Struggled a little bit with that, but they got the win. Obviously, in week 2, it's, okay, how the hell are we going to stop Jefferson, Thielen, and Dalvin Cook? Well, obviously, we did that, handfully. And then this past week, it's like, okay, well, there's no Justin Jefferson on the team, or not even a Dalvin Cook or a DeAndre Swift, but Antonio Gibson is talented, and they have a really deep and talented wide receiver core. And once again, we had no issue with that, mostly because the quarterback, A, didn't have any pocket presence, and B, didn't have any time to get it out to their open wide receivers. But this is a week where maybe, like, listen, I could be eating my words come Sunday night, right? If a Christian Kirk or somebody who I think is really underrated in this league, and that's Marvin Jones, has a big game. But this is their weapons, per se. They're pass catchers. It's Christian Kirk leading their team through 3 weeks with 18 receptions for 267 yards for 3 touchdowns. That's very good. Okay. And obviously you got a big contract, so they need him to be very good. Zay Jones, that's like his go-to guy. He's not a big name. He's good. He's serviceable. He's an NFL guy. Marvin Jones that I listed, Evan Ingram, who we know very well from the Giants, and then Travis Etienne, who's basically a rookie. I say that all, and I say there's nothing flashy that stands out, but they're 2-1, and they're a very efficient offense. I'll lean on one other thing that I've noticed too, and I'll pull up my stat here that I marked up a little bit before the show. And this comes into what we're going to do on offense, not necessarily what we're going to do on defense. You look at our strength the last year and a half, and that's been the rush offense, right? Getting out and moving, whether it's Jalen Hurts on the run or whether it's Sanders Scott or Kenny Gainwell. Through the first 3 weeks, you're not running on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll just read you these 5 categories.
Yep, I think I know where you're going with this one.
This is how the Jacksonville Jaguars rank throughout the first 3 weeks, after the first 3 weeks, that is. In rushing yards allowed, they're ranked number 1 in the NFL. 55 yards. Rushing attempts per game, they're ranked number 1 in the NFL with 17 attempts. Touchdowns allowed, they're tied for first. Rushing first downs allowed per game, they're tied for second. And yards per carry, they're 4th. So when it comes down to moving the ball on the ground, no team has really been able to do it yet. So the good thing is Jalen Hurts, there was a stretch of 18 straight completions on Sunday where he was from the pocket. You're going to see more of that, and you're going to need to see a lot more of that if you want a comfortable win against Jacksonville. But I'll get into more of my players of the game and score later, but I'm just going to say without all of that, I agree to this poll question. Mr. Chrome, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree to the poll question. For me, some of the keys, first of all, Ryan, to your point, talking about all the numbers, and rightfully so, of how incredible they've been against the run this year. They have not faced a weapon like Jalen Hurts on the football field, though, at this point. And that's one of the X factors. So when I look at this game and I look at where can you win, I think it's going to be, you're looking at probably the best rush defense right now versus one of the best running games in the league. It's going to be, again, and I know we're saying this every week, but it's going to be the play of Jalen Hurts. I feel like it's particularly this week, you're going to rely on a whole lot of that. The other thing, too, is you're going to have to look at the matchup up front, right? When you look at the edge rushers of Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker up against Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, that's going to be a key factor because their edge rushing game, they have been able to get to the quarterback. And I think that's why they've been able to be so efficient at stopping the run. Their interior defensive line is really strong. They have edge rushers that have been able to get to the quarterback. So we're going to need to have Lane and we're going to need to have Jordan to be those guys who we know that they are, and they're going to have to stay up fast. Now, again, we faced a couple of tough tandems already at this point on the edge at the front of the line. But this is going to be yet another week where that's going to be challenged. And then again, you just need to give Jalen enough time to continue to do what he's been doing, stay in the pocket, look at his progressions. But if he has to take off, again, they have not faced that weapon yet at any point this season. And I think it's safe to say now in week 3 that is a very, very unique weapon in this league with only a handful of guys, maybe less, maybe 2 guys you put on that level. And that's Lamar and Kyrie. The hell? Kyler. Jesus God, I'm sorry. I was watching Nets about the Nets earlier. Kyrie, what? I wouldn't be surprised if he ditched the Nets and went out there. Looking at Kyler, looking at Lamar, looking at Jalen Hurts, they're in a league all on their own and being able to be playmakers like that. And I think that's going to be really, really crucial in this game. And the other aspect is going to be the mental aspect of this game. It is an emotional game now with Doug coming back to Philadelphia. We talked last week about, statement games and is it a bigger statement game for Jalen Hurts as opposed to Carson Wentz? I think we kind of saw there. Carson's kind of who everybody thought he was. That hasn't really been the talk. The talk, again, has been Jalen Hurts, which is why I think that proved that conversation last week. But now it's Dougie P coming back in, doing a phenomenal job in Jacksonville. That game last week against the Chargers, steadily handled the Chargers. And that's one of the teams that a lot of people look at as a top 5 team in this league. Not just in the conference, in the league. Arguably, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're high on them, but
maybe that might be coming to an end very quickly because the Chargers
might be cut mine. Well, they're doing what they do, which is every year we say this is the year they're going to turn the corner.
And then the whole injury report.
And then Joey Bosa, Bosa, I think in surgery.
And then everybody gets hurt.
I think he's currently in surgery now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
The Chargers can never catch a break. The Chargers have always been the team where they're loaded on paper, and then by week 5, everybody's hurt. They just can never catch the break.
Chrome, I want to bring up one thing too before I go to Frank and Ralph. And you brought up, the weapons that they faced, at least in the, the running attack. And I agree to a sense with the quarterbacks. Like they faced Matt Ryan, like he's not picking up the ball and running. He's not doing that. Carson, he's got to get out of a freaking clean pocket for him to run. And even then, he's not running like he used to. And Justin Herbert, he's not running anywhere because, he has 2 broken ribs. So like he's not moving. But I will say when you just look at just stopping the run in general, this is where I don't want to say I disagree with you because your point was more so it starts with the quarterback and then that'll help everything else. And the weapon that Jalen Hurts is with his feet kind of helps a Miles Sanders, Scott, and everything else. But when you just look at the running backs they faced, Antonio Gibson's very good. Like great, no, but he's very good. They faced Jonathan Taylor in week 2. Who many reside as one of, if not the best, definitely in fantasy, the best running back in football. And then this past week, you have Austin Eckler, and I know they have Sony Michel, they have a couple other guys over there.
Shut them down.
But it's not like they're facing, just running the middle, like nobody's over here. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they've been able to stop, especially in week 2, and they put a 0 spot on the Colts, that's impressive to me. Like I said, by no means do I say hey.
Yep.
I get it, Ryan, but the difference is the ability to game plan for a running back as opposed to a special talent like a Jalen Hurts, who is proving now, and at this point I'm starting to believe in it, that he is that dual threat of the guy who can stay in the pocket, but can still break it off and get you 100 yards rushing and throw for 320 yards passing. We're not talking about one-dimensional guys or a guy who can catch a couple of balls out of the backfield. You're talking about the guy who has the ball in his hand on every offensive play. And you just can't game plan. You can't, and I've heard this said a number of times over the last couple of weeks, and so I'm not going to take this as my own, but I believe in this, in that when you talk about game planning for the Eagles, you can go out there and you can recreate certain scenarios for different running backs and this and that, or quarterbacks. There's nobody on your team that's good enough to replicate what Jalen Hurts brings to the field. And that's the X factor here. That's what makes him different than game planning and shutting down a Jonathan Taylor or an Austin Eckler or anybody else. That's the X factor here. And that's what you have to take into, because if he's not breaking off and running, he is proving, though, that he can stand in the pocket. And then that's where the other factors, right? That's where the game is won up front. And that's why I talked about the offensive line and talking about the tackles taking care of their edge rushers there. I think that's going to be really key. So I can't even have and for me, Ryan, I can't even compare that success. If we're talking about shutting down Miles Sanders and the trio of Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott, sure, you're absolutely spot on. But game planning for Jalen Hurts is a totally different conversation to have.
Especially now that he's looking downfield when he's getting out and moving. I'm saying he was a weapon in itself when he was just tucking and going. Now he's tucking, going, and looking up and passing to a wide open Pascal. Or a wide open Devontae Smith. Ralphie, to the poll, sir.
I agree as well. I do think we win on Sunday, but I just think the way this Eagles defense is playing, man, is insane. It feels good to finally have a couple guys on the defensive backsides that can cover somebody, that can make plays. Finally, as corners, it feels good as well. Finally feels good to actually finally watch a decent or a very capable linebacker and TJ Edwards make plays. It's amazing to say that. I think we finally have a linebacker. Yeah. But with this Eagles defense has been on point for 3 weeks so far. And, we got on Jonathan Gannon a little bit in week 2 where, the little soft coverage. And then, by the third quarter, he started bringing the blitzes, and it basically changed that whole game Monday night. Yeah, there he is. There's sunglasses. Hey, there he is, Mr. Shades. There's Mr. Shades.
Shades.
But to the poll, I agree, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. With you, Chrome, it's going to be very emotional for Doug on Sunday. Coming back to the link, he gets to look up. He sees that banner again, the 2017 championship banner that's going to be hanging there forever. I think it's going to be very, very emotional for him. Obviously, he's not going to say that. It's emotional. He might just say it's another game, but we deep down know, we all know it's going to be emotional. So that's going to be fun to see how that plays out. But for the poll, I think Eagles go to 4-0. I really do. This team is rolling, man. They are rolling. But what scares me a little bit is that we're getting too much. We're getting too much national love. The teams that get a lot of national love, they might slip up a little bit, and then we all know how this goes. Philly teams get too much national love, and then it all starts going downhill a little bit. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Ralphie, I said this to you. I say this to you with every team, but I said this to you about 6 games after James Harden started playing with the Sixers. And all of a sudden, you had the Stephen A. Smiths, the Jalen Rose, everybody on every network being like, maybe Philly's the favorite in the East. And I said, there you go. That's it. We're done.
Was it yesterday? The Power Rankings came out and they had the little video. Yeah. And they're like, there's a new number 1. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I can only imagine who's number 1.
And, of course, when Stephen A. says that the Birds are 1, and it's like,
here it comes. I can see it now.
And to the people at home, we're obviously being facetious when we're saying that. Well, maybe to a degree, I'll just say we're being facetious, even though I have nightmares about the national media being in love with a Philly team. But there were 3 things I saw in a row yesterday morning when I was doing my usual morning scroll through Twitter. And it all was regarding the Eagles. It was The Eagles are now favored in every game remaining on their schedule. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
that is true. Yeah,
there's
that is
3
true.
losses. Okay, that's going to age well. The
Yep.
second one was the Eagles are now favored to win the NFC. I'm like, okay, well, here comes a blowout by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get their rankings up a little bit. Tom Brady will have 5 touchdowns. This will be fine. And the third one, which I'm like, okay, are we just living in a simulation as the simulation broke? Jalen Hurts, I don't know if it's still to this point, and there's no shot at him. But even still, like we're in like a honeymoon period with Jalen Hurts. But even this is like, okay, what is this? Like, who's pulling a joke on it?
Is it the MVP one?
Jalen Hurts was more of a favorite to win MVP than Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, are the Chiefs 0-3? Did Patrick Mahomes go and play baseball? And that's not a shot at Jalen Hurts. But there's certain things where you just see them for your eyes and you say, that's just not real. What are we doing? Things are happening too much. What's going to go wrong now?
I mean, certain people may have called a top 5 MVP performance by the end of the year.
With the 4,000 passing yards. Here we go.
Actually, right now, I believe, and I'll check my numbers, I believe he's on pace for 5,200 or 5,300 passing yards right now.
You would know the number. You would know the number.
Listen, if he gets just in another world, if he does get the 5,000, just think about this, right?
The whole world.
If he gets to 5,000, that check that they slide over in the offseason better be blank. And he better write $500 million on it.
I mean, they're working on some check right now. So, I mean,
it's the rumor.
It's got to be something.
Rumor.
Can I say something, too, before you go, Frank? Because you brought it up, and I'm thankful that you brought that up.
You know why they're doing it, though?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, well, because they need to. They need to pay
factor.
it. Yes, they want the first day they're legally, and I will say legally able to do it, they're going to do it. But for all the people, and even some check marks that are going out there being like, oh, can we see a Jalen Hurts extension after week 4 if they win? Guys, they're not legally allowed to do it yet. Okay? Mm-hmm. Like, that's like, there's one thing of like trying to figure out maybe like, hey, we know how he likes doing things early. He's not legally able to do it yet, guys. So, like, for anybody who's writing articles or saying, like, oh, Jalen Hurts, he might get extended next week. Can't happen yet. We got to wait. We got to wait. Do I think he's going to get extended if he continues playing anything close to this? Yes. Can't do it yet, guys. If there's somebody that's going to get extended, it's going to be, because this can happen legally, it's either going to be Javon Hargrave or it's going to be Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It's going to be one of those two. I
just wanted to clarify, on pace for 5,191 yards.
Yeah, here's Jacob. Jake, is this your burner account, Crum? Jacob in the chat, he just dropped it.
Hey, that might be his prediction. Because he has no INTs, right? Or he doesn't? The Kenny Gainwell, the stupid Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I won't put that on there.
That's my bad. I missed that one. All right, so he's right then. That's probably right around the projections. I have him at 5,191 yards right now by the end of the year.
Frank, to the poll, sir. I'll just put the poll.
I mean, I guess we gotta go with the clean sweep here. I mean, I also agree to the poll.
Not good.
I mean, this is a game that we know it's just the Jaguars, but this is a Jaguars team where should not be taken lightly. I think I was watching this last night after the Phillies game. Oh boy. I think it was I don't remember who said it. I believe it was Reuben Frank who said it. Okay. That you got to give Doug Peterson a lot of credit with turning the Jags around from where they were last season under Urban Meyer, put in this new culture. A great young quarterback playing probably one of the best football in a long time for Sunshine. I mean, last year, but the culture that Doug put in with this Jaguars team, they're 2-1 right now. They pull off some huge win against San Diego. But yeah, you also take a look at this defense that the Jags are putting up. Yeah, they're always San Diego to me. Damn it! But you took a look at the rush defense for the Jaguars. Ryan, you said it, 55 yards average. But you take a look at the pass defense, it's a different story.
Go ahead.
They're-
Go ahead. Read it.
They gave up about 220 yards on the pass defense. So I think this is I think this is another one of those games where Jalen needs to be on point with the passing game, especially with the Batman that he has with him. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very entertaining matchup. This will be a very emotional matchup, especially we all said it. Doug Peterson coming back. I don't know how everything's going to be handled on both ends, especially with Doug, especially the players that played under Doug, that won that title with Doug. So I think it's going to be very emotional, but I do think the Eagles get the win, but don't take the Jags lightly. So I agree to the poll.
All right, I'm going to get to some of these comments here. It's funny. The chat, I guess Shane Trent in the chat is a Jaguars guy.
Yeah, he's like talking smack about us, and then like I just love how people are coming up with the snippy comebacks on him. So
Shane Trent, he says, so I'll start with you, Shane, because
you win a couple of games in a long time.
And Jacksonville's back on the map.
And holy shit. You're walking around with You're walking around with a fucking 7-foot erection right now.
We got guys on our defensive line.
Taper it down. Taper it down. Open up the nightstand. Get the lotion out. Let's work that out a little bit, okay? Bring it back down. Relieve that stress. Relieve all that out.
And Shane, I don't want to
get the candles ready.
I like what's happening in Jacksonville.
I respect a lot of what they're doing, but Shane,
I love, and I'm happy for them. And we said this before. Happy for an organization like that to get Doug. Yeah, I think that they needed a guy like Doug, who we believed the day they hired him. We all said that's the perfect guy to work with Lawrence to turn the ship around and get them moving in the right direction. So I don't understand the need to come in and be like you win a couple games and all of a sudden you want to be a crumb.
And I get all the excitement and I appreciate it, Shane, for the comments, the many comments directed at Eagles fans. I really do. But I'll just start out with this because it's a question and maybe you don't know. He says, Eagles D-line and linebackers. Who again? I don't know. The guys who just had 9 sacks.
Yeah.
A couple days ago. Against a quarterback that you couldn't beat. Just saying. And listen, I like your team. I do. I really do. I like your quarterback. I like your coach. I'm a big fan of your one running back because I just traded for him in fantasy, and I really think Marvin Jones is underrated. But can we stop, please? Can we stop?
Clearly knows nothing about Nakobe. Even beyond T.J. Edwards, clearly doesn't follow college football to know anything about Nakobe Dean either.
And he's not even playing right now because there's no need to play right now.
T.J. Edwards is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, like that's – and we said it when we were all watching it together on Sunday. For anyone who's like still worried about like, oh, why are we not seeing Nakobe Dean? It's because you don't need to.
Right.
Because TJ Edwards
and TJ, I almost called him TJ Watts. Like TJ, I almost just called TJ Edwards TJ Watts. Not because he gets injured every 5 seconds, but because he's everywhere on the damn field. Like that's why you're not throwing a 3rd-round rookie, even though he was very good in college, into the fray. Like if this was any linebacking core over the last, let's call it 15 years, Nakobe Dean is playing. He's probably playing every snap because it's him and Alex Singleton and that guy from Washington that we had for 3 weeks who we then cut after a week 5 loss. What was his name? Zach Brown. Yes, not the singer, the guy who got cut after week 5 by the Eagles.
I will say to my man Shane here, though, if you're from Jacksonville, be safe, buddy.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Yes, and we appreciate you for commenting.
We do appreciate you commenting. This is the fun of it. This is what we do here on A2D Radio. We welcome the opposition to have a fun conversation.
Right. Yes. Jesse says, hello, Jesse, by the way. He says Eagles have players on the D-line who have more wins in their career than the Jags' entire franchise. It's true. It's damn true.
I would not be surprised who the players are.
Wick says Doug is a great coach. Thanks for the ring. Exactly. And for anyone just joining, once we give our scores and everything, we'll go into a little discussion on how we view Doug looking back and everything, because I think he's in an interesting category when you compare him to a lot of NFL coaches around the league. Bobby, hello, Bobby. He says, I love our conference right now. Bring out the Batman capes. Hell, let's have a 50 cents hot dog. 50-cent hot dog, Bobby. This is exciting, more so than 17 for me. I expect to blow everyone out this year. Oh, Bobby, I hope we really don't lose.
No,
this.
I don't.
Sanity.
Listen, I don't hate the statement. I don't think he's saying is that he actually believes that's going to happen.
No,
but it's the
he's fired up. He's ready to run
level
through a
that
wall.
this team. It's the confidence team. Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. This team has played very, very, very well and has been very impressive on all aspects of the football right now.
It's nice to have a September where only the Phillies are breaking my heart, not two teams, but it's not.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too, I think, guys, here is we have to look at that Detroit game and let's go back in hindsight and realize that Detroit team is
They're
much
real.
better
They're
than
real.
people gave them credit for.
Yep.
And we even said then, right? We said, you don't know what they're going to be because they did make moves that we thought were going to improve that football team. But you're seeing them week in and week out now continue to have success, and they're competitive. They're a team on the rise. So, I don't think we have to feel bad about the game. If anything, I look at how successful we were offensively and defensively. Maybe we were kind of punch drunk on that because we didn't suspect, how good they were, how efficient they were going to be able to be. I never suspect a team with Jared Goff to be able to be that efficient, but it's working right now. So,
It is.
I don't feel bad about that loss, or not that loss, but I don't feel bad about how close that game got to be.
Oh, sometimes a gritty week one battle can wake you up a little bit. And by all aspects, it woke up Jonathan Gannon because for as mad as we were after that game, listen, I'm not willing to give him an extension. I'm not willing to say he's the best defensive coordinator of all time, but I feel like it's a good week for Jonathan Gannon when he's limited in conversations, at least on types of shows like these.
I stand by my statement that I said after that week one, though. I don't like not playing your starters for pretty much any of the preseason at all, because I really felt like that defense particularly struggled to get off the field and looked extremely winded and looked not conditioned for that week one game. So
I think you can say that with even on our offense too. That game is like, there was some rust, but like once the rust started to come off, like how good this offense was going to be. It's just the defense side of things. I think it was just rust on both sides of the ball.
Well, I looked at that and I felt like the defensive side of the ball, you could physically look at people, right? We used to talk about how like you could look at Carson, you could see when he's engaged and not engaged, and we feel like that kind of rubs off on everybody, right? I felt like watching that Detroit game, that defense had energy through quarter one, started to gas out quarter two. Came back out after halftime, felt like they were rejuvenated. Towards the end of that quarter three, going into quarter four, and majority of the fourth quarter, I felt like they looked unconditioned for that game. I felt like these practices that we're winning in preseason, I feel like it does affect coming up. Now, again, we were fortunate, and I think it's kind of showing now as these guys are getting into game shape, and this defense is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and I think that's another concern for the Birds, like you were saying, Chrome, where we're flying in all cylinders in the first half, and in the second half, it seems like we can't get back to where we were in the first half. And offensively, yes. Offensively, yes. Defensively, it's been through 1 through 4. They've been on point. But with the offense, it seems like for these past 3 weeks, is the first half comes, we're flying, we're making all these plays, we're scoring all these touchdowns. And second half, it feels like we take the foot off the gas a little bit, and it becomes a game a little bit. But I think that's one of the concerns so far for the Eagles, at least for me.
I want to read Bill's two of Bill's comments because I know his second one really touches on that, and then I want to get on this topic with their slow starts coming out of the week, coming out of the halftime, and kind of them being able or not being able to score basically any points in the second half. I want to kind of get a poll on that also. But Bill starts out and he says he disagrees with the poll, so he thinks that they're going to lose. The Eagles, that is. He says we allowed over 110 yards per game on the ground. I think Robinson has a big game. Doug wants to win this one more than anything. They beat LA 38-10, and I just see a 3-1 and overreactions. I will say, Bill, and again, I'm not trying to get Shane Trent in the comments fired up again because we already did that. I understand. Like, listen, it was a really impressive win over the Chargers. And am I burned by that because I picked them in the Super Bowl and it's looking like they might not get to the playoffs? Sure, I'm a little bit perturbed by that, but we're not going to talk about that until later. But it wasn't a full Chargers team, right? It was a Chargers team with 95% no Joey Bosa, no Keenan Allen, J.C. Jackson was nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? And Justin Herbert, who had 2 broken ribs. And Austin Eckler, who by all counts is on a snap count because they want to have him fresh for the second half of the season and the playoffs, maybe if they get there. So if it was a full-fledged thing, absolutely. But when I say that, but I'll also disagree with what I just said, because when you blow out a team that much, it outweighs, hey, we were without 3 or 4 of our top players. Does it matter? Yes. But when you blow a team out like that, it's like, hey, it's an impressive win. We got to look out for them. And I think go ahead.
Okay, Ryan.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I just think the other aspect of that too is they're very impressive early, Jacksonville under Doug, but they're also they're overachieving a little bit at this point. They're playing a little bit above where their heads are at, and again, when you're looking at all facets of the game, teams that are clicking on all cylinders right now, they have not played a team like the Philadelphia Eagles to this point. And I think that there's a big factor that you have to put into that. And they're on the road. They're on the road. Mm-hmm. And that's coming off of a big emotional win, a huge win, and a blowout coming out of that
Los
game
Angeles
against San Diego.
It wasn't like it was at home either.
Right. And now you're on the road in Philadelphia.
Wow.
There's a lot. There's a lot. That's a lot to ask to come out and have that level for a young team like that. I just think we're overshooting a little. We're talking about overreactions of us. I feel like there's a lot of overreactions happening for what's happening in Jacksonville right now. It's great. It's a great story, and I think it's going to continue to progress. But let's not sit here and say, okay, they're going to beat all these great teams week in and week out now.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying you, Ryan.
I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the chat. Absolutely. Ralphie, I will say with Los Angeles, it's the Chargers. It was basically a home game for the Jaguars.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still on the road though.
I get it for the travel and all. I get it. But what I'm just talking about the home field versus away playing field.
That stadium is made for away teams. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is what I wanted to get to though, Bill. With Bills, and this is where it kind of goes into. I want to poll both, us four and the fam at home. He says, I was concerned about not scoring in the second half, but you got Hurts for over 320 yards and 3 touchdowns before the half, which was better than most quarterbacks' total game stats. But we do need some second half scoring. I agree with all that, Bill. What I want from everybody in the chat and all of you, I always reference the panic meter, okay? And it's at 0. How long will that happen? Who knows? Well, hopefully I don't have to touch that for a long time. What is everyone's panic meter, 1 to 10, if anyone didn't know, with the lack thereof second half scoring for the Eagles? What's your panic meter at when it comes to that factor? Ralphie?
Crum, you could go first. Go ahead, Crum.
He's thinking. He's clearly thinking. That's why he didn't talk first.
Okay, then go ahead, Frank. Go, Frank.
Where my panic meter's at? Going into this week?
Listen, mine's a 3. Mine's easy. Mine's a 3. I'm not panicking over here. I'm not panicking over here. But like I said, my biggest concern is the second half. That is that is the concern right now for the offense is the second half.
But your panic meter for the second half is a 3.
That's what I just said, Ralph.
We're not talking about for the week, Ralph. We're talking about
how much for the week.
How much is your panic concern? No, how much is your panic level concern for not scoring in the second half? Are you concerned? Does that make you panic a little bit that they're not scoring in the second half?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be up to a 5. I'm up to a 5 right now, bro.
Was that a difficult question? Did I say it wrong?
No, because
Frank, was that me?
I almost had a hard time re-asking it because I was like, okay, you didn't understand it the first way. How do I reword
that? When I was listening to the question,
I'm trying to explain my side of the story.
No profanity on this channel, Ralph. This is
no. There might be a lot of profanity in a second, depending on how Ralph says it. Go ahead, Ralph.
Listen, Frank threw me off when he said, "Oh, for this week." So I thought we were talking about this week, the panic meter for this week. That's
Did
why
you hear
gave
what
it
I
3.
said? Forget what Frank said. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear me?
To be honest, I was zoned out. I was daydreaming a little.
I was in the
I'm not
middle.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna beat around the
and also
bush.
Ryan, I was also in the middle of making a snarky comment towards Shane.
Well, you failed. You failed.
Well, so I didn't
What'd you
hear
say?
the
No,
question.
what did you say? What was the
Apparently, you know what, Ryan, I'm going to answer the question because
Thank you,
apparently
Paul.
I'm the only one who actually listened to the
The
question
chat did a
and took
great
the
job.
time
The
to
chat-
try to break through it.
The chat
Great
did
job, all you
beautifully.
guys in there. Whoever,
Did
every
beautifully.
guy and girl, everybody who commented in the chat, phenomenal job.
Yeah, very good.
I'm going to say for myself, I'm going to go with a panic of, I'm going to say 3. I'm going to go with Ralph's initial one because of the fact with how efficient they've been on defense. It hasn't been an issue really outside of week 1. It has not been an issue in the second half. So I feel confident that even if we put 3 points up in the second half, if we're going in like we have been up 14, 17 points at the half, my panic meter's down because I'm that confident in the defense that they're going to continue to do their job. So I'm at a 3. I think they need to score more, but in week 4, I'm at a 3.
But you also got to think too. I didn't think about this either. Is that the defense has been playing so well that I guess the offense could get a little stagnant in the second half because of how well the defense has been playing. Right?
I think they're putting. I think they're
the whole
purposely taking their
game-
foot off the gas. I think that's all
pretty
they're
much
doing.
the whole
I think so,
second
yeah.
half. Pretty much the whole second half until like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was 24-2. Okay, sorry for cursing again. Family program, I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it was
on, Ralph.
24-2, like with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
Sorry, Grandma.
You know, so I can see why the offense is getting stagnant because the defense is playing so well. But at the end of the day, you still need to score points in the NFL. I know. I cannot have these guys come out slow again in the second half. I cannot have it.
I don't. I mean, it's clearly not been an issue. I would say the only thing I slightly disagree with Chrome is that it wasn't even that much of an issue.
But you don't think it's an issue?
Well, hold on now, Felicia. Hold on now. Hold on.
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Easy.
I don't even think it was that much of an issue in week 1, even though it got kind of scary because that was the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that like they gave up the points. It wasn't the offense. Like clearly, if we would have continued to score, the defense, playing the way they were, in the second half wouldn't have been as glaring. But to me, I think it's just I hate to say this, but I think it's just us taking our foot off the gas, going into Jonathan Gannon sticks prevent defense, and just being like, okay, stop us because we're going to continue to stop you. Yeah. I don't like it personally. I really don't like it in a betting sense because after week 3, I'm officially 0-3 when betting the Eagles in the over. So my panic meter's at like an 11 out of 10 in that aspect. But just in the Eagles winning football games aspect,
which means
I hate to
lock in the under and they're going to put up.
Well, listen, I don't know if there's a way I could just pass for the season. I might because I am in the trenches and not in a good way with the betting. But we'll get to that when we get to locks in the week a little bit. It is violent in there. It's bad. I'll worry. Like I hate saying this, but like I'll worry about it when it costs us a game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you've had such a big lead over Washington and the Vikings where you knew after Wentz got sacked, I would say the 5th time, and Kirk Cousins threw that pick in the opening drive of the second half, we all knew, all right, well, they're not scoring. Well, they're not scoring. So, okay, you're not catching up to us. So we're not going to do anything evasive to where we're causing a bunch of turnovers and we're going with hero ball where we're putting you on our own 20-yard line. Maybe I'm dead wrong. Maybe that's a cop-out. But when you're 3-0, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. I'll complain when you're 3-1 or 4-2. Right now, I'm good. But yeah, hit that over so I don't go over in my bets. That's all I would say. That'd be great. Yeah.
Speaking of hits, hit the like, subscribe, follow, share this video with your friends. Get everybody on the channel, on the Facebook, the Tube, the IG, and everywhere else. Let's go.
Let's see.
For my panic meter, I know.
Oh, you're gonna try this again?
Yeah, I'm gonna make an attempt again to. But for the second half, it's. I mean, you guys, we all hit the. You guys hit all the points regarding the defense. I think, if this game does get a little bit chippy, which I doubt it will get chippy here and there. My panic meter is probably going to be at a 3.5 on this one.
My next question, okay, before we
Now
get
you
to
can
our
go.
scores and offensive, defensive player of the games and all that. Something new that we haven't done in recent weeks. Give me your one player on Jacksonville, not named Trevor Lawrence, that you're most worried about as an Eagles fan.
Marvin Jones.
Ralph was
Marvin
listening to
Jones.
that one. Ralphie was listening to that one.
Literally the
right.
most underrated player in the NFL, dude. He is so. If you actually go look at his stats, he's been so good for every team he's been on.
I would say
He's
his
so
contract
underrated.
says he's not underrated, but I hear you.
He's so good. I
I
would
agree.
I would take him.
Oh, wait, you said Marvin Jones. You didn't say Christian Kirk.
No, Marvin Jones.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, then I agree.
Yeah.
Then I agree with you. Sorry, I thought you said Christian Kirk, and I'm like, wait, he's getting paid like $72 million. He's not underrated.
He's so good, Marvin
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah, I like.
Where was he? Where was he before Detroit again?
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones.
Why am I drawing a blank on that?
I think it might have just been Detroit. I wish Don was here.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
That's why nobody
what it
respects
was.
him. That's why nobody respects him because he's played on Cincinnati,
But he
Detroit,
balled.
and Jacksonville.
But he balled out on all three teams, though. He's been balling
Yeah.
out on all three
Yes.
teams.
Yes. Frank, do you need me to repeat the question?
No, I actually listened to the question this time.
Very good. All right, very good.
Player on the Jacksonville Jaguars, not named Trevor Lawrence, who you're worried about, and I'm going to go with Schmever Schmarns. I kid. It's James Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at him, I'll pull up his numbers real quick, unless you have it right in front of you, Frank.
I do not have his numbers.
I traded.
I already said mine. I'm sticking with mine. I'm going. I'm copping out. I'm taking two. I'm going with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. I'm looking on the defensive side of the ball because they are the two that I think could be the difference makers if they can rattle this offense.
James Robinson in the first 3 weeks has gone just rushing the football, right? Which has been, at least in week 1, it was a concern, right? DeAndre Swift and Jamal, they ran all over us. Not so much in the other 2 games, especially not against Dalvin Cook. He went 11 for 66 and a touchdown week 1, 23 for 64 and a touchdown week 2, 17 for 100 and a touchdown week 3. So in Jacksonville, the last 2 years, it was kind of, hey, James Robinson's really good. Why are they not giving him the ball? That narrative has gone out the window. They're finally giving him the ball.
Mm-hmm. And especially that he's coming off that the torn Achilles. He's been really impressive so far this season. I mean, 51 carries for 230 so far this season. I mean, and of course, being a boon for anybody who also owns Travis Etienne on their fantasy team. Yeah.
It's interesting because
getting all those points.
Like Shane Trent says Zay Jones, and I know he's a Jaguars fan, but like I actually think Zay Jones, like, am I going to say like he's the guy I'm most afraid of? No. I mean, if we get beat by Zay Jones, then that'll be weird, right? But again, Zay Jones, while his name might not jump out to you, he has received the most receptions from Trevor Lawrence through 3 weeks. He's there. Like, we know how we were talking last week, and I know we were talking a lot about it on Sunday when we were watching the game together, but how, like, Curtis Samuel, as much as the Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin gets all the spotlight because one was, the rookie first-round pick, the other one's Terry McLaurin, he's very good. Curtis Samuel was Carson Wentz's go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
That, in a lesser sense, is Zay Jones. So where I guess, just on the surface, you would have Darius Slay on Kirk this Sunday. You would have James Bradbury on, I'm guessing, Marvin Jones. And you would have Zay Jones going up against Avonte Maddox. So Avonte Maddox has been one of, if not the best slot corners in this league, not only through the first 3 games, but honestly, since he's switched back there, away from outside cornerback and then originally safety, which I know he played a little bit in his rookie year. But once again, he's going to have to make sure, while Darius Slay has been really good and James Bradbury has been everything that we've hoped him to be, there's going to be a lot for Zay Jones to kind of pick up because obviously he has the chemistry with Trevor. And, if the other guys aren't getting much, then it's going to have to be him. And Bailey, no, DJ Chark, he's not on
in Detroit.
He's on Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also there's that super chat. Thank you, Solo Man, for the super chat. And he brings up Devin Lloyd, another good choice as well.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Listen, as
Devin
much
Lloyd.
as
Why am I drawing a blank on him?
the linebacker in the draft, you're
That's
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
you're a
guy-
linebacker
Utah
every
kid.
draft season. You should
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, I was drawing a blank. I was thinking about
You got
I
to
don't
think
know
about
why.
them
I was thinking
beans.
about Devin White for some reason. I don't know why.
He's
When I
good,
saw
too.
that name.
He's good.
Yeah.
Too. No, Devin Lloyd. It's funny on draft night and all the shows before that. The top two linebackers, kind of in the Eagles' range, it was Devin Lloyd and it was Nakobe Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we ended up getting Nakobe in the third round, like about
Yeah.
85 picks later.
A steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Trayvon Walkers, a lot of Robinsons.
Yeah.
You got Devin Lloyd in here. Robinson in big old bold capital letters by Mr.
Yes.
Bill. JC So Cool says make Trevor uncomfortable in the pocket and pressure him and we'll win. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny. He has a little 2017 Wentz in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like at his peak, he's that. I said that coming out of college. He was like, his peak would be a better Carson Wentz before he went nuts. And he just didn't know how to play football anymore. So it'll be interesting. And also, when you look at the trajectories of both quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence, I'm sure there'll be a lot of debates if both of them continue to play that they are. They're two of the more young, exciting quarterbacks in this league. Which I think because Trevor came out, was that the same year as Jalen?
Nah, year after 21.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you sure, Frank?
Yeah, 2020 was Joe Burrow that got drafted.
Okay,
#1.
no,
And
you're
then
right.
The following
You're
year
right.
was Trevor because he no-showed the draft in Cleveland. So,
Bill says, without score predictions, quick, do you guys on the panel think the Jags will
What's the
cover?
line?
6.5?
yes, I actually
Six
think
and a
the Jags
half
cover.
again. Oh my god.
Yes, Bill. And it's funny,
Yeah,
guys.
they
We'll
cover.
get into score predictions in a second, but yes.
Oh, Michael Ryan also had a question as well before we get to the predictions about
Go ahead. Sorry.
Slay's back issue and Reddick being down towards the end.
No?
I think I think they're fine.
Yeah,
They'll be good to go.
I'm not too worried.
No, I mean, it might be something that lingers, right? I mean, a back never goes, it never goes
Right.
away. It's not like, oh, quick fix, we're done.
Mhm.
He stays on the field. He's been clearly playing, whatever it is, he's been playing through it. He's been playing at an all-time level. So, if he's out for, say, for example, he goes out in the second quarter and he's out for the rest of the game, then yeah, I'm going to say,
Right.
okay, we're going to quickly know who, Zach McPherson is.
He's been great on special teams.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
special teams player of
Give
the
him
week
lots
in
of
week
credit.
one.
Yeah.
But no, if he's playing through it, by no means has it shown to, keep him from playing at a top level. So no, absolutely not. All right, let's go into scores.
All right.
Ralphie, I'll start with you.
Birds win. We just got off the cover for the Jags. They do cover the 6.5. I got Birds 24-21. 24-21 on Sunday.
And just
Jags
for
do
those,
cover.
and just for those wondering at home, like we just told Bill, it is a 6.5 point favorite for the Eagles, and the over/under is set at 46.5. For anyone who wants to, like me, foolishly bet the over for the Eagles. Chrome.
What's the line? 6.5?
6.5.
6.5, sir.
All right. Eagles cover. I'm going 34-16 in this game. I think that the Jacksonville hype train comes back to reality a little bit, and I think that the Birds win this game handily.
Mr. Frank.
For me, I could see it now. I could see the moment in WrestleMania 24. Shawn Michaels super kicks Ric Flair. Ric Flair's won in a visor. His name is Doug Peterson.
It's gonna be a meme
I'm
now.
sorry, but I love you, Doug. But Eagles win 28-24.
But you do have the Jags
too.
I do have the Jags covering.
let me say here too, when you talk about the emotional aspect of this, right, where we talk about, Doug's run here, being the Super Bowl coach and all of that, it's emotional, I think, for Doug to come back, and it's emotional for the fan base.
Yeah.
But the makeup of the roster, and particularly the featured players on this roster now, most of them didn't play for Doug. They don't have that emotional connection to where
Right.
I feel like the emotional aspect on the field will affect them as much as it could affect others. So,
Yeah.
For me, I
is
do
this
think
a trap game? No. It's
No.
not a trap game.
I don't know if he's saying
not
that
a
because
trap.
of the Jimmy thing last week.
I
I don't
For
know.
Jimmy, everything's a trap game.
Yeah, I don't know if that's making fun of that or if that was a legitimate question. But who do we have next week? So like I don't even know what the trap would
Arizona.
be.
Arizona's next week.
No, because
Arizona in Arizona.
Yeah.
no, not that that's
Yeah.
like a easy game by any means.
The only
but
other,
no.
I don't really know what the next. Would you consider?
Can we sit back and look at the Eagles' schedule for the rest of the year?
I'm looking
Well,
at.
While you're looking, let me just get my
Pittsburgh
score real
week
quick because I'll forget. Let me just get my score real quick because I'll completely forget. I do think the Jags cover. I think the score is going to, if you're just looking at the scores, it's going to make it look like it was a way closer game than it actually was. I see like a late touchdown, maybe a late field goal to get the Jaguars to cover for everybody betting at home. I'm going to go with a final score of 27-23 Birds.
Oh, and by the way, Greg also picked that score, so
I am moving my score from 27 to 23 down to 28 to 23.
And if it also makes you feel better, I originally had 27-23 as my score, but then when I got Greg's thing, I'm like, well, I'm changing my score.
You had that score too?
I also had that score as well.
Okay, I'm going to move my score officially, and therefore the Jaguars are not going to cover. I'm going with a final score of 30-23. Final answer, please. Hello, ESPN.
It's about Brett Favre.
Oh, hi, Brett. You're not having fun, are you? Okay, we're just going to put you down over there in the corner.
Let's look at the schedule, though. Seriously. Okay?
Okay.
Let's look at some of the teams and some of the games, right? When we went through the schedule a couple of weeks ago.
So can we do this?
Oh, man.
While you're going through it, the biggest question we got to come up with is, because again, this isn't out of left field. By all reports yesterday, and this is on most betting lines, the Eagles are favored in every game for the rest of their season. Yeah. So we need to identify, at least through three games, what we think their hardest game left is as we sit here in effing September.
Oh my God, we're doing this already.
Looking at the
Dallas on Christmas Eve.
Well, just run through it. Just run through it because I can't see it. We'll just do a yes, no, yes, no.
All right, so we're at obviously this week at home against Jacksonville.
No. It's gonna be a yes for a while. It's gonna be the hardest for a while, in my opinion.
Okay. In Arizona against the Cardinals.
No, Cardinals fucking suck.
I don't think they suck, but no D-Hop. Kyler all of a sudden wants to be like a pocket quarterback, even though he's 5'6".
This game is in Arizona, and I think. I don't know what the Eagles' record in Arizona is.
How are you swinging
the past several years?
Sorry, I'm showing it, Bryce.
Oh.
So no, next.
Yeah, it's a question mark for me for Arizona.
Dallas in Philadelphia?
No.
And
no Dak yet.
Well, it could be Dak.
We don't know.
It could be Dak. Yes.
That could be Dak. Mitchie Poo and the Steelers coming into Philadelphia.
No,
I really like that defense. But no, if Mitchell Trubisky beats me, I'm
it's coming off a bye week too.
And also Pittsburgh hasn't won in Philadelphia since God knows when. Since we're all teardrops in our parents' eyes.
Next.
So no.
I was thinking like a drop of sperm in daddy's balls, but whatever works.
Oh my God!
Each their own. Next.
We are a family show.
Shut up, Frank.
That's the part of the show where we can.
Next.
Let's go Eagles in Houston.
Next, no, just next. Move on.
No.
Next.
That's a Thursday night game too. What are we
Great.
doing?
That is that's so bizarre that's a Thursday night
Yeah.
game.
Can we switch that to 1 o'clock on Sunday, please?
Do they flex that early? Because I could see that happening.
I think
No, they can't flex it. No,
they
no,
can't
no.
they don't
Amazon,
flex that.
Amazon.
I
owns the
don't
rights.
think
say that
I don't
jokingly.
think they can flex it until after week 11. I think.
Yeah,
week
it's later
12?
in the
Yeah.
something around there. The Commanders come to Philadelphia. Carson's return.
No.
No.
Carson fucking stinks.
No.
The Eagles travel to Indianapolis.
No.
No.
I can't find an L.
And that was and early in the season.
I have not
that was
found
a
an L
game
yet
they
either.
were
I'll be honest with you.
That one's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That one's interesting to me. I don't think the Colts are nearly as bad as they were the first 2 weeks. I'll bookmark that game. So go ahead.
Green Bay in Philadelphia.
Yes.
That could be a tough
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
that is gonna be
To this
tough.
point,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
guys. It's
So
Aaron
that's a tough
Rodgers,
2
though.
weeks. That's a tough 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Going to Indy and
to
coming
thi-
back and
that's
playing that.
to this point. To this point.
Keep going.
All right. Then we have Tennessee in Philadelphia.
No, Titans
No.
stink.
We
Robot
have,
Ryan Tannehill does one thing. Hike.
and we go up. We go up to New York against the Giants.
Giants stink. Daniel
Next.
Jones will be benched by then. Don't worry.
No, they won't. Next.
We go to Chicago.
Justin Fields stinks.
Yeah, Justin Fields throwing 7 times a game. I'm good.
Yeah.
I like the
I'd
running
rather
back.
go to
down.
a Service Academy game
Yeah.
than watch a National Football League game with that.
Christmas Eve, we go to Dallas.
That's a tough game.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
tough
tough.
game.
Stuff.
To me,
That
that's
can-
that's
that
that's
can-
the
And then
toughest
we're
one on
fully
the
certain
schedule.
that Dak might be in that game. So
Okay, Dak will be back for that game.
Well, he'll be back for the first game.
Maybe.
maybe.
No, he'll be back for the first game.
Christmas Day, or I'm sorry, New Year's Day against the Saints at home.
No.
No.
We lose to Jameis Winston. We might as well not even make the playoffs. Just forfeit our spot at that point.
It might be Andy Dalton by that point. I'm not joking.
Oh, that's
And then
what
we
it is.
have
Geez, that's
we have the Giants at home.
No, so there's
TBD.
3 games that I look at.
Packers and Cowboys are for me. Those 2 games.
Packers, Colts, Cowboys.
There's nothing else that strikes fear into my heart.
No.
The Colts, nah.
no.
Matt Ryan,
Isn't
Yeah.
that so crazy to sit
That
here
could be a
and
trap
just say
game. That could be a trap game because the next week you're facing at home Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
That could be a trap
if
game.
we want to call what could be a trap game, yes, I will agree with you. That
Yeah.
could be a trap.
Listen, I'm reaching now. I'm reaching.
I mean, I think Chicago on the road, sandwiched between 2 divisional games, sandwiched between 2 road divisional games, and it's 3 straight weeks on the road in New
Molly,
York,
No.
in Chicago, in Dallas. I feel like that Chicago game in the middle could be a trap game.
Molly, we're not doing wins and L's. We're not doing that. We're just talking about which game stands out to us as, damn, that's going to be a tough one. They're going to drop.
Yeah, we're
some-
looking at.
It's the
yeah,
NFL.
we're
They're
looking
going to
at
drop some. Yeah, they're going to drop some that they shouldn't. It's the NFL. We're not saying 15-2. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no. So let's
And
preface
if we
again.
did,
The whole thing came up because as of this week now, the Eagles are literally favored in every game this year on the way out. Now that line's changed, that could change. But we're saying with as it is today, what games are the most concerning?
yeah.
So we threw the few out there where we said, okay, yeah, that's a tough one, and maybe 1 or 2 trap games that we look at down later in the schedule. No, not necessarily that they're going to go 15-2.
No. It would be amazing. It would be amazing if we went 15-2, but no.
Umberto, I thought the Arizona game was going to be a tough one coming in, man. But that team looks terrible. They don't look good. I don't know what Kyler is trying to be in the quarterback position now because he's not being the guy that's the special talent right now. I think somebody mentioned he's trying to be a pocket quarterback. He's undersized. He's just I don't know if that team has an identity right now, to be honest with you.
Let's get to players of the game because I have 2 other questions pertaining to the Eagles before we get to our locks of the week and our game 4 picks. Real quick, we're not getting into this because I don't want to dampen my mood. The Phillies freaking stink. That's all I'm saying. And I need you guys, you over. Where are you? Here. you, Cardinals, to beat the Brewers tonight. Thank you. I'm just gonna need you to do that. That's solid for
I
us.
don't think it's gonna happen, brother. We're
What's
playing our bench team tonight. We clinched last night.
You guys are such bitches.
Can you help us out? Do I have to say 2011?
You know,
already
I'll
took
tell
so
you who's
much
on the
from us.
mound. I'll tell you who's on the mound right now, though, pitching phenomenally for us, Mr. Jojo Romero.
What's your score?
2-1
Brewers.
Milwaukee, going to the bottom of the eighth.
We're gonna
JoJo's gonna get lit up this inning. Watch.
We're gonna fucking collapse.
Who's your players of the game, Ralphie? You just give me both, offense and defense.
Offense. I'm gonna go with a guy that thought was gonna have the biggest spotlight on him in Philly so far for the Eagles. I'm gonna go Miles Sanders. 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns for Miles this week.
Well, Ralph, if it makes you feel better, Greg also had Miles Sanders as offensive player of the game.
That means he's not going to score any touchdowns and probably have 15 rushing yards.
So would you like to change your pick?
No, I'll stay. I'll stay.
No,
Ooh,
listen, they're both convinced that they're going to be able to do something that the Colts, the Commanders, and the Chargers haven't been able to do in the first 3 weeks, and that is run the football.
But back to Chrome's point.
I get it.
Jalen Hurts yet.
I get it. I understand. I'm just going to let you guys pick those guys, and I'll be over here. That's all I'm saying.
For defense,
yes,
I'm going to go. Are you want to go around offense first, or you want me to go with the defense?
No, go defense.
For defense, I'm going to go Marcus Epps. He has a pick this game. Marcus Epps.
All right.
Wow.
Frank.
So my offensive player of the game. Well, should I go with one of the Batmans or should I make up my own Batman? So with that, I'll make up my own Batman because AJ Brown's the swole Batman. Devontae Smith is the skinny Batman. I'm going to go with the South Dakota Batman, Dallas Goedert. He's my player of the game.
Nice.
Defense?
On offense.
Defense.
What was your score,
my
Frank?
defensive player of the game, I'm going to go with Fletcher Cox because the sick soul in me wants to see the parody memes of videos being titled "Long Hair."
There it is.
Yep. I wasn't going to let him say it.
What
Crow.
was Frank's score?
What was your score?
Frank, what was your score?
What was your score?
28-24.
Okay.
Say nothing else. Chrome?
So we're doing both now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I thought we were just doing defense, but okay. Then defensive player of the game. Oof. I'll go with Josh Sweat here, putting some pressure on Mr. Trevor Lawrence. He's going to get a sack and a half here, at least. So we'll go with him. On the offensive side of the ball, I'm gonna go with Jalen again. I think Jalen is he's rolling. I think he's the playmaker. He's a difference maker. I'm rolling with Jalen.
Before I give mine, Ralphie.
Also, I want to give one more quick shout out too for anybody. I just got this little report. Anyone who's a wrestling fan, if you were in the arena at the Liacouras Center, shout out to Mr. Max Caster for getting the entire arena to chant "Fuck Ben Simmons."
Is there a video of that?
I'll see if I can find it.
And will it be? Oh no! Oh wait, I'm actually going to watch it after the tomorrow. Actually,
Before I give my players of the game, Ralphie, Umberto has some much needed fantasy advice from you. He says, "So Ralphie, are you saying I should play Miles Sanders?"
Listen,
Over.
Greg said Miles Sanders too. Just go with your
yeah.
gut.
What? Yeah.
Go with your gut. Just slide Cordell in there.
And when he says go by your gut, that means go the opposite of what Greg and Ref just said.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Whatever Greg says, do the opposite.
To me, see, it's tough. I really like going with especially defensive players of the game. One of our interior defensive linemen, because that is one of their biggest, meaning the Jaguars, their biggest weaknesses on their O-line. Their offensive line, unlike the past couple weeks that we faced, they're not banged up. They're just not very good. They've got Cam Robinson, Ben Barch, Luke Fortner, Brandon Sheriff, and Javon Taylor. Like they're healthy. They've got shaky depth. they're average. They're not big time stoppers. And by the way, Ralphie, Greg is in the chat and he heard that. He said you're not wrong, but he heard that.
Greg, you staying safe? Hope you're safe, brother.
I would guess he is, Ralphie, if he's commenting.
Yeah, if he's commenting, yeah.
I would guess he has Wi-Fi, power, food.
Yeah.
You never know. You don't know.
What, you think the hurricane's typing for him?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe something.
That's some kind of hurricane.
I'll go with Javon Hargrave again. I went with him last week. It woke him up a little bit. And like I said earlier in the program, he's either due or next to be due for a big-time extension. It's him and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who I also think it's funny. We were talking to Chucks on Sunday, and we all knew it's like everything in front of Chauncey, he's handling. But everything as far as coverage behind him, he's still learning it. He's still learning how to play safety, an NFL level. He's doing good, but, and he's getting better. I think his week 3 performance is by far his best performance at the position so far. So that's good. Offense. Did anyone say AJ?
No. I mentioned a Batman, but not the Batman you
want. Who are their corners? Let me just see something here. Their nickel is Darius Williams. They've got Chris Craybrooks, Tyson Campbell, Trey Herndon. You got Shaquille Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
You got Monteric Brown.
Who was the kid from Florida that was? Oh, C.J. Henderson, but he's not there no more, right?
No,
they let him go, right?
No, they trained under the Panthers.
That's what it was.
Eagle Slayer says Jordan Mailata is the big AF Batman.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey's the fat Batman, and everybody's giving all these Batman nicknames. I love it.
My next question. Name for me in the chat. Just write them in the chat. All of the teams that you think are currently, after 3 weeks, better than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I mean, if you're number 1 in power rankings.
I don't give a damn about power rankings. I care about your power rankings. And it doesn't have to be. And listen, it doesn't have to be somebody who's 3-0, because if we're going by records, they're called standings, not power rankings. So I mean, Wick goes Bills.
Yeah,
Bobby says none.
Yeah,
Bobby's ready to run through a wall, so of course Bobby's going to say none.
Yeah, Bills. I mean, Wick also mentioned Miami.
Dolphins.
I was thinking,
Dolphins are one. Okay. Buffalo is another one. All right, let's not get it twisted. Okay.
Goes Jaguars.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, the Bears are 2-1. Holy shit.
Well, you putting them over the Eagles, Ralphie?
No,
oh, boy.
No.
Oh man.
Probably those two, Miami and Buffalo. Because we beat Minnesota. We beat Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Tom still needs wide receiver help. Pretty crazy to say that still. He's 45 years old.
To me, there's only two. To me. And it's
give me Miami and Buffalo.
Actually, no, I'm only going with one. I'm going Miami. Just based off of, again, you players on your schedule, and I'm not saying we played just the Lions or just the Vikings or just the Commanders, but I mean, I think this is more credit to McDaniel, obviously, because of his resume, the first 3 teams he's faced in his career. He's amazing. Well, he was my coach of the year, or my coach of the year prediction. But you beat the Patriots, who I understand they're not the Patriots anymore, but it's tough to play the Patriots week 1. Tough to play the Patriots anyway when Bill Belichick is over there. Obviously, the Ravens, and what's going to go down as one of the better games of the year. And obviously, the Bills. That's impressive to me. I think the Chiefs are really good. I think the Bills are up there, even though the Bills are showing they can only win one way, and their health on the back end of their defense is worrisome. If I was a Bills fan, I can't put the Chargers up there as much as my betting predictions want me to. And really in the NFC, I can't. I can't. I could say, hey, Aaron Rodgers is there, but his O-line's banged up. Sammy Watkins is on the IR, and Randall Cobb, who's like 40. Christian Watson, who's a guy, Dubes is good. I like him. Until Tampa gets healthy, I can't put them anywhere near there. The 49ers, while I think they're better with Jimmy Garoppolo, I still don't think they're that great.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
fully sold with the Niners.
Yeah, to me, and again, it's week 3, so like you don't win any trophies by being the best team in football, one of the best teams in football after week 3. But to me, I think it's us and the Dolphins, and I'm not saying that because we're both 3-0. Chrome.
Sorry, I was trying to find that video. What am I doing? My power rankings?
Who are the teams that you believe are better than the Eagles after 3 weeks?
Buffalo.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so Dolphins don't make your list.
You didn't even say Miami?
Not better than
Wow,
the
you're
Eagles.
such a crumb.
Well, first of all, although they had an amazing fourth quarter, they got outplayed big time minus that fourth quarter in a lot of that Baltimore game.
Mhm.
So I think that was more of the mistakes on the Baltimore side than the Dolphins. And listen, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill
What a
are
punch.
they're legit. There's no doubt about that. However, I watched that game. Baltimore opened the door for them in a lot of ways. That was the breakdown of all defensive breakdowns. So I agree with you in the New England aspect of all of that. But again, and I think too, I didn't think Buffalo looked like themselves the other night either.
They're just so banged up. They're just so banged up.
Well,
already.
I do believe that there's a lot to be said for these early games that are played in Miami when it's like 100 degrees down there.
Yeah, especially
I do
when
think
you're
there's a
from
lot to
Buffalo.
be said,
Yeah,
which is, I would like to see later in the season when they have to play in Buffalo, and I think that's so huge win. You can't take anything away from them. Josh Allen is a special guy. If you could beat Josh Allen, that's huge. That being said, I have Miami in like the top 5. I don't have them over the Eagles. I think the Chiefs miss Tyreek Hill right now. I think Green Bay. Their running tandem is really solid, but their passing game still doesn't impress me that much.
I wouldn't go as to say, like, listen, Tyreek Hill is an amazing talent. I'm not ready to say that they missed Tyreek Hill. I just think their special team. I think they're special. No, because if you they gave away that game 7 times. They gave away. They missed an extra.
No, you're not lying. There's other aspects. There were a lot of other breakdowns in that game. You're not lying.
Do I think they missed them? Of course, but that's like 7th on the list. It's like, hey, their supposed game plans was, hey, it's going to be more of a conservative, lack thereof home run offense. We're going to run the ball more to keep Mahomes healthy. We're going to defend the ball. We're going to cause more turnovers, and our special teams are going to be better. Their special team sucks. Their running game at times looks like it's a college running game, and not a good one, by the way. I'm not talking about like a good college running game.
So you're making even more of a point for me to knock that behind the Eagles then.
Yeah, I can't put the Chiefs there. I can't.
The Buccaneers
do I trust Mahomes more than Jalen Hurts? Of course. But to me, their identity per se, they have not been able to really counter in on. And listen, I understand it's September. The AFC is really good.
To me, the X factor is the Bucs because they're so banged up right now. I don't know if we still know what their full identity is. This week they barely lost to Green Bay.
Yeah, that's why
barely lost to Green Bay.
I learned more about Green Bay than I did about the Bucs.
Yeah, and that was with nobody. So if there was an X factor team, that would be my X factor team.
And Umberto, I don't think we're sleeping on Brady and the Bucs by any means. We're just saying through 3 weeks they have not looked better than the Eagles, which I don't think. Like, listen, Tom Brady in December and January, sure. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio Jones.
This is no different. This is no different than what anybody does in any other show, guys. Like, let's not overreact, okay? It's as of today. What are your power rankings? Power rankings change every week.
Yep.
Who do you have above? The question was in your personal power rankings as of this week. Who do you have above the Eagles?
Yeah.
So, let's not be like you're sleeping on this team because we ain't sleeping on the Bucs because Brady's look like shit. They've been hurt all year. They haven't looked good when they did. They didn't look good early in the first game either. They've looked like shit every game. I give them a pass this week because half their offense was out. But this whole like you're sleeping on this and how are you not including that, guys? We're allowed to have our own power rankings. I can make an argument for every team, including Buffalo right now, to put behind the Eagles. I'm trying not to be a homer about it, but that's the honest to God truth. There's nobody top to bottom in every game they've played that has looked better than the Philadelphia Eagles against every opponent they've played.
Yeah,
they had one bad defensive half. Other than that, offensively, they have, even with not scoring as much in the second half, have done more than enough to handily defeat teams. The defense has blown teams out of the water. Their special teams.
I mean, you're not wrong. Keep on going, baby. Keep on going.
Head coach has schemed phenomenally for this.
Yep. Give me more.
You have a top 3 MVP candidate right now. I don't know if he's going to end there, but as of right now, give me another roster right now, including Buffalo, who took his shit this week. Show me another roster right now that has looked better at this point. If you really want to go there. Don't tell me what they're going to look like 3 weeks from now when they're healthy. Don't tell me what the Cowboys are going to look like when they get back. Although they don't even look that bad with Cooper Rush right now. But don't tell me what they're going to look like. Tell me what they look like to this point. Why, as of week 4, going into week 4, this team should be over them.
The Eagles have been so good, Crum, to your point, that they've been able to take entire second halves off offensively.
I'm giving respect to Buffalo because of how special Josh Allen is.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Watch the Baltimore game back. They did not look good in Baltimore except for the fourth quarter. And a lot of that was because of the talent they have. A complete defensive breakdown by Baltimore allowed that talent to run all over them. That's the honest to God. And honestly, it was a great 8 minutes to close the game.
Yeah.
They looked like shit up until the final 8 minutes. Complete and utter breakdown by Baltimore.
Sure. I hear you.
You can make an argument for Miami, though.
Yeah.
But if you really look at the Baltimore game, they looked terrible in that game for three quarters and 4 minutes into the fourth.
And Bailey, no. I mean, they're probably in my top 5. I don't know about the other 3, but I mean, Lamar Jackson's the MVP of the NFL. As much as I love Jalen Hurts, it's just,
Lamar MVP, Baltimore top 5.
Yeah, of course. Real quick.
Sorry, guys, 5-1.
You just can't help me.
We're not going to go. We're not making a post.
No, it's terrible. We're not going to talk about it now. It's Eagles time. We're going to talk about the Eagles. Okay.
Please.
Real quick on Doug Peterson. And again, Greg, if you're still watching, I would like a hate-filled monologue in the comments about how you still don't like Doug Peterson, and that's fine. Like, listen, I'm not saying you should love Doug Peterson. Ralphie, I'll start with you. How do you view Doug Peterson now, and how do you think people should view him looking back on his time as an Eagles head coach? Now that all the scar tissue is kind of,
I mean, I think he's a good coach, right? But then you also got to factor in too, right? To play a little, he walked into a number 2 overall pick in Carson, right? Had a great year with him, the 2 years. And then, obviously this steep down in 19 and 20, and then took the year off last year. And then kind of walked into, number 1 pick with Trevor. Let me see what I can do. And he's been good so far, right? But outside of that, he's a good coach, right? He was okay. I mean, we didn't know a lot about him in Kansas City because, with Andy Reid being there and Andy Reid calling the plays and all stuff like that. But don't forget too, remember when Doug Peterson was hired, everybody was all up in arms because he was the offensive coordinator at Kansas City, but he didn't call any plays, right? So that was a big question mark. Can this guy call plays? And then we found out that was it the game they blew? What game did they blow in Kansas City in the playoffs? The year before he got hired.
It was against the Steelers.
The Steelers game. And we found out that it was him that was calling plays in the second half, and everybody in Philadelphia hit that panic button as fast as they could. But right now, I mean, to lead the team to a Super Bowl victory with a backup quarterback going through all the shit that they went through in 2017 or Carson going down with the ACL. He is a great coach. He is a great coach.
Mhm.
See, so I was interested to hear if you use the word good or great. So you will go great. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Frank.
All
Yo,
right.
and also real quick, Frank, before you go, I apologize.
Mhm.
No, you don't. You don't apologize.
You
to
don't
do
apologize.
what he's doing in Jacksonville after all the fucking headaches. Sorry for cursing again. After all the headaches they went through last year with Urban Meyer to change that whole locker room and
Yeah, that was
and
a
the
fractured
whole
locker room.
Yeah.
and a snap of a finger goes to show that Doug Peterson is actually and the reports are true now that he is a player's coach.
Yep.
He is 100% a player's coach.
You know, with me, with Doug, he brought the city its first Super Bowl title, and I'll never forget that season. You know, a guy, basically turned this franchise around when, Chip Kelly, whatever Chip Kelly did to it, he massacred that team. And Doug successfully managed to turn that culture around.
Great point again, Frank. This
Why,
is his
thank
second
you.
time. His second time coming into two shitty situations.
Exactly.
One with Chip Kelly after he left, and now one with Urban Meyer after he left. And it's been
The Urban Meyer one is a little bit. That's next level.
No,
That's
next level, but they're both shitty situations, though.
Yeah,
Both
they were-
bad
Both of them
situations.
were terrible
The
situations.
culture was dead in both instances, Crumb.
Right.
I don't know.
And
The Chip Kelly
Chip Kelly
situation
was
was
out
a
here
lot
making
different because
grown
there were
men
pieces. He walked into a lot more
Chrome.
pieces than he walked into with Jacksonville.
Chrome, you're a 10-year veteran. You got a coach telling you, yo, bro, 8:30 is your bedtime. Lights out. Let's go. You got that protein shake, motherfucker.
Molly,
Drink up.
everybody stop. Molly, I know next week we'll do our thoughts and prayers for Jason Garrett. 'Cause I know he had an illustrious career in Dallas. Don't you do this. Don't you do this,
Yeah,
Molly.
don't start, Molly. Don't you start.
We're
All
having
right?
a moment before we
I
beat
know
them
you're
by
high.
40
I know
on
you're on your
Sunday.
high horse right now because Cooper Rush, or whatever his last name is, all right, is doing great right now for Dallas.
I thought you
I
called him
can't
Cooper
take-
Kush.
I almost did.
I heard Cooper.
Almost
Kush.
did. All right. Don't
Molly,
start with me right now.
Molly, we're trying to
I'm
give
curious
you-
if Molly
we're trying-
thinks that they're better with Cooper Rush now, or if he still thinks that.
Molly doesn't know
Listen,
what to
Dak
think. He's a
might
Cowboys
be,
fan. He doesn't know
on the
what to
market.
think.
You know, week 8 comes around.
What do you think,
You know?
Molly? You think are we moving Dak now, or
Cooper Kush.
Uh,
I'm gonna steal that. I'm taking it.
But going back to Doug, the culture that he put in with, the guys that we had, especially walking in with Carson Wentz, I don't know, with a personal connection, with the whole, the whole religious aspect of fellowship and all that. I know any of the fellow bad Catholics around here can vouch for this, but just that whole, I don't know, something about that culture was like very wholesome in Philadelphia, but there were some flaws in his first couple games, and he was a good coach. I wouldn't say like a great coach like a Bill Belichick, but I'm very curious how Philly's going to react. I think he should get an ovation, and then get booed afterwards. But
Doug's never going to get booed in this city.
He's not going to get booed. I think it's going to be like one of those moments where it's like, we thank you. Like, let's get the audience out of the way in typical.
I'll tell you what.
Philly
Though. There's some venom in this. There's some venom in this chat, which I'll get to. Go ahead, Chrome.
Yeah.
Listen. I think Doug is going to be a hero in this city forever. I think that this was a phenomenal start in terms of a guy who still has a lot of coaching years ahead of him. So in terms of his Philadelphia legacy, he will for always and ever be the head coach of the first Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champion,
Mm-hmm.
and that can never be taken away from him. And I've seen people talk about how he game planned for this and that. Listen, he was smart enough to know to go back and take certain aspects of other coaches, whether it was Chip Kelly or college or everything else, when Nick Foles came in and add that into their scheme. So he's a smart enough mind. And I think that Doug has the potential to be a great coach down the road. I think he's in the right place with the right quarterback, and I'm being interested to see. But his legacy in Philadelphia is honestly, it's unmatched to anybody because he's got the one thing that nobody else has, and that's the designation of being the first Super Bowl winning head coach in this city.
Well, here's another thing too. The Dominic's question, to where Doug was unsure what to do after the Super Bowl. Don't forget too. This front office never gave the guy a chance to say anything. Never, even with the ring, never gave him a seat at the table. Don't forget too, Howie Roseman, who after the Super Bowl still had say on who was playing on Sunday over the head coach. So even through all that, Doug Peterson got over the hills and still led that team back to the playoffs with Nick Foles as a quarterback coming halfway through the season again. Don't get that twisted too. He never had a say here. Those reports are true, goddammit. All right? I'm not taking no Dougie P slander tonight. All right?
I can see
The
that.
guy won me a goddamn Super Bowl. All right?
It's
Ralph, I
tough.
feel like I need to hug you right now, but you need
No,
a hug
listen,
after that.
he's dying on that hill, and I appreciate him for that.
Yeah, I'll be the guy that die on this hill.
I'm with you,
Absolutely.
man. I don't get it. It's a city that loves to slander people.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we like
You
people
know,
like to nitpick, and listen, I get it. There's a lot that Doug hurt his own reputation and his, for some seasons lack thereof success. It was because of him. I want to read a couple things before I get to mine, but Bill says Doug isn't that great. Good. Yes, he's had good situations, and even Foles called for the Philly special. I'm not a Dougie fan. Bill, my question
Hold on,
is
what? Hold on. To that last point,
Yes.
the Foles calling the Philly special. So, okay. So, if Patrick Mahomes goes over to Andy Reid, right, and says, hey, coach, I want to run this. Let's do this. And Andy Reid says, okay, let's do it. Does that make Andy Reid a bad coach?
Well,
Because
also,
Patrick Mahomes called it?
Also, I understand Nick Foles brought it
Come
up.
on, Bill.
You know what Doug could have easily have said?
Nope.
No.
What did he say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Especially on a 4th and 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that it was
Could have
even
just taken
in
the 3. He
the
could have
fact
just
that it
taken
was
the
even
3
in
there.
the playbook to begin with.
Yeah.
Was that Nick Foles' issue? Or what? Like, I hate that. And Bill, I'm not telling you how to feel.
If
but my
anything,
question
that's good coaching. To
Yes.
have trust in your quarterback that he has a feel for the situation in the game
Mm-hmm.
to say, hey, this is what just throw it out there and say, you know what, dude, I trust you right now. Yeah, run that.
Bill, I don't
Because
understand.
guess what? If that doesn't work, is that coming down on Nick Foles or is that coming down on Doug P for calling that play later?
Nobody would know that Nick Foles called that if it wasn't
Probably Peterson. to
Dougie
be
P's
honest.
Dougie P's the one answering the questions on it later.
Bill, I just don't understand how you could say, and listen to
He
you.
had good
I don't know how
situations. We just talked about what he walked into, Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how he could say he's not a WP fan when he's the first coach to be at the helm in a winning Super Bowl atmosphere. I don't understand.
He has walked into 2 terrible situations
Yep.
and have turned both franchises 360, whether you like it or not, guys.
Well,
'Cause
but
Chick-
if you, Ralph, I mean, before when you said 360, a complete circle. So
Oh, sorry, 180. I apologize.
there you go.
Sorry. Right.
I had to catch you
gonna
on
let
that.
him. I was going to let him.
180.
I was going to let
Okay,
him. go.
a complete 180 for both franchises. All right, Chip Kelly had grown guys at 35 years old getting tucked into bed at 8:30 while drinking protein shakes at 7:30 a.m. I mean, come on, what are we doing? All right, then he had to go to Jacksonville and deal with all that drama that Urban Meyer started. Okay, had to fix that locker room, draft guys still. And listen, they're a good football team right now, dude. Whether you like it or not, Jacksonville looks pretty decent.
Umberto, he says, I love Dougie P, and we have a statue in his name. We'll never forget Super Bowl 52, but he never developed players well after 2017. Great coach, but just being honest about his biggest flaw. Okay, let me just say this, okay, before Ralphie goes nuts, because I know he's going to go nuts again. At the end of the day, was Doug Peterson perfect? No. Nobody on this panel or anybody should ever say he was
no
perfect.
shot. Yeah.
No.
Did he do a lot of things that led to his eventual exit? Yeah. I think
Yes.
also he was the one that literally pushed the proverbial button that said, I'm getting the hell out of here. I will never listen, Doug Peterson could say it and I wouldn't even believe it because maybe he's just trying to cover and be professional. There will be nobody that can ever convince me that it was Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie that fired Doug Peterson. There is nobody that can convince me of that. From everything that Doug said leading up to it, from everything Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie said, how they were acting, how they waited an additional 2 weeks to fire him, and how they had to have a secondary meeting, how they didn't extend him. It was
Super Bowl winning coach didn't even have a seat at the table.
What are we doing, that, Ralph? Ralph, I don't even care about that. I don't even care about not having the.
But that's a big part, though.
No,
I
get it. I get it. But to me,
what players are we worried about him developing, though? Miles Sanders could stay on the field.
Right.
Are we talking about Are we talking about J. Jaw, who he didn't even have a say in drafting?
What
players didn't he develop?
Are you talking about, Humberto?
Maybe Derek Barnett. Maybe Derek Barnett. I mean, I guess I could give you that one. I mean, Barnett, when he's healthy, could be a disciplined player and a contributor. But Derek Barnett also made a lot of big plays and a lot of big moments. He's just undisciplined is his problem. So, I'm just curious, who wasn't developed? He had an aged roster that Howie kept pushing money back where they really couldn't do much.
It was an aged roster.
It was, you know what the age of Doug Peterson came down to, and it wasn't all his fault. The downfall of that Eagles 2018-2017 roster, the biggest reason why it went to hell, it was blind loyalty. And some of that falls on Doug, obviously. He had blind loyalty to Mike Groh and some of his coordinators.
Nelson Aguilar had his best year in 2017 underneath Doug.
Carson Wentz had his best year, and by far his best year under Doug Peterson. And mind you, in years and seasons where any other team with far more talent, not when we had a quarterback and a defense that had lawn chairs for cornerbacks and wide receivers, you had 2017 where you had all those leaders go down. A Carson Wentz, who was the MVP of that season, go down. What do? You win a Super Bowl. Nobody talks about the other guy anymore. Then you have another season where you get off slow. Carson Wentz comes back foolishly a month too early. Then he has to go after the Lions game, back on IR, done for the season. You bring back a backup quarterback. You're an Alshon drop away from going to the third round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You dig yourself out of hell. Then 2019, you have a decent but also a mistake-riddled Carson Wentz season while he's throwing to Greg Ward. And listen, I think Shelton Gibson might have been on that roster. I feel like my cousin might have been on that freaking roster. I feel like Ralph's left shoe might have been on that freaking roster. And you go from being an embarrassing loss down in Miami, you have a resurgent December, and you get in the damn playoffs. So as much as Doug Peterson was thrown, real quick, Ron, as we throw things like, hey, he didn't develop people, even though I look at coordinators. Or, hey, he quit on the roster, even though I don't even think it was that much. I think it was, hey, I'm not going to get extended. Therefore, I want to go where I'm wanted, not where I'm being undermined, even in jobs where I know I'm the best at what I do. He brought this team back to life. And I know he's not playing, but his culture. He changed that culture like that. And that, I think, is the biggest value of Doug Peterson. Go ahead, Crum.
Who gave Avonte Maddox an opportunity as an undersized outside corner to step into the slot, and now he's a starter?
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at, there's plenty of names on this roster of guys who played very, very well. Who gave Rasul Douglas an opportunity to go get a contract elsewhere when he wasn't very much until the last 2 years he was here? Who was his coach? Pretty sure it was done.
Umberto, I don't understand this. Sorry, Ralphie. He is partially responsible for the free fall of Carson Wentz. Umberto, don't you hear all the things? Carson Wentz refused to play in the Doug Peterson offense. Once Frank Reich took his business to Indianapolis, he literally stopped and refused to run the offense. That's not Doug Peterson.
Right. That's a very
come on, guys. Doug's not perfect.
A very foolish take.
What do you want him to do?
The guy leads us to a Super Bowl.
Somebody, Ralph, you'll love this comment. This dude in here, I'm not even going to say his name because it doesn't even deserve enough respect. Says any coach would have led us to that Super Bowl. That's an actual comment in here. Any coach would have led us to that Super Bowl.
With a backup quarterback
against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, while they were still the Patriots, any quarterback would have led us to that, or any coach would have led us to that Super Bowl. I'm not even saying the name because it's not even worth my time. But I needed Ralph to know that comment was dropped in there, Ralph.
Yeah, I don't
man.
understand.
No,
I
no.
don't understand. I'm not even
Any
going to
coach,
it. I don't
guys.
understand.
Any coach.
No.
That's like telling me, like, if Rich Kotite was still like a young guy, who could
Or
coach,
we
like,
would have
Rich
had
Kotite
Ben
would have won
frickin'
that.
McAdoo.
It's one thing. This is all I'll say.
Oh,
Ugh.
ooh.
It's one thing to say if that person had said Doug isn't the only coach who could do it. Okay, maybe there's others. Maybe a Mike Tomlin. But
Any.
you went with any.
Really?
That
Any.
is a take.
That was a real comment, Ralph.
No.
Bro, we had a backup.
Any, Ralph.
quarterback.
Any, Ralph.
No, Umberto.
Ralph,
No,
you could have.
no,
Ralph,
no.
you could have led us to that Super Bowl. Frank could have
Umberto.
led us to that Super Bowl.
Umberto, I love you. I love you, Umberto. I appreciate every comment you bring to us, so don't take this personally. But you can't do the, hey, he's the head coach, he takes responsibility.
Oh, no,
and
there's accountability out.
Wait. Then completely veto the fact with every other conversation we have had, and I know, Umberto, you have been the one who have said these exact same things, justifiably so, that the quarterback takes the blame also. So in this one instance, just the head coach should take it? But we're just going to talk about how Carson Wentz for, arguably 2 years, but really that 2020 season was the worst quarterback in football. Statistically, literally, figuratively, all of it.
Hurts.
And he refused to play in the offense both 2019 and 2020. They dealt with it in 2019 because they had no wide receivers or talent that could justify, hey, it's kind of just improv, run around and just try and make a play, Carson. We can't hate you for not wanting to go in the offense because our offense is not going to revolve around Shelton Gibson and Greg Ward, even though I love them. Like, we're not going to do that. But damn, it's the quarterback's job to play better than what Carson Wentz did. I can't help you. I can't help you if you disagree. And Jesse says, here's my question. Do you think Nick Sirianni would have with that roster?
No, guys.
Nope.
Maybe one day, but I can't say that.
No.
Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Listen.
Joshua. Appreciate you, brother. Make
Any
sure you're liking, subscribing, following, my friend.
So that means. Wow.
Yeah, I see a comment here.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Jeff
All right. So there was a follow up that says maybe it's just out of anger because he's our enemy this week.
The emotions got to him.
Says, but he stands by the fact that he thought that the veterans had more of an influence than the head coach on that team.
Yeah, but after the Super Bowl win, after the Super Bowl win, listen to this. Doug Peterson went.
You can put his comments up now. He's kind of like.
Listen to this. Listen.
I don't see it.
I'll go with that. I think he's backing off of the Eddie. So on Facebook, Jonathan Davies.
Listen.
He comments in. It wasn't because I don't like you, Jonathan. But when you make a comment like that say Eddie, I feel like it's so disrespectful to that Super Bowl team and the guy who led them there. That's why I said I'm not even going to dignify with your
name.
Think
about this.
I love Jonathan.
Listen real quick.
Listen, Jonathan. He's a good dude. I just thought that was an asinine comment.
Andy Reid was here for 50,000 years, okay? And had one quarterback in Donovan McNabb his whole entire career, right? Chip Kelly was here, okay?
Here?
Nick
What
Foles.
Yeah, what the fuck was that,
What are you
Ralph?
from Boston?
He was here?
Nick Foles, okay?
He was here.
Bradford, okay? Two of them didn't do. Well, Nick Foles had the one good year with Chip, and then he got traded for Sam Bradford, and Sam Bradford fucking stinks. Okay? It is what it is. Well, you cannot tell me that Doug Peterson, out of those coaches that I just named, Andy Reid and Chip Kelly, went through the most adversity as a head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Out of those three.
I'm glad you made the bed, by the way. No,
From 2016, 7-9, what did the front office do? What did the front office do? Oh, we want to fire Frank Reich. You know what Doug said? Yo, what are we doing? No shot. No shot.
He's staying here.
2017, right? Carson tears his ACL. Eagles are done. That season's over. Nobody's going to do nothing. Nick Foles comes in, leads us to the Super Bowl. Okay? And they do that with a backup quarterback. A backup quarterback that was about to retire in Kansas City. He was the third string quarterback in Kansas City, guys. Remember that? He was going to fucking retire until Dougie called him and said, "Hey, buddy, how about you come to Philly? We got cheesesteaks and cheesecake and all the fucking food you want down here on South Street. Let's do it." All right? He comes in. Nick Foles leads us to a Super Bowl. What happens in 2018? Carson's hurt again. His star quarterback's out. What's he do? Rallies the troops again, right? Brings us back to another playoff appearance in 2018 after winning the Super Bowl. 2019? Well, that's just when it all went downhill. And shit hits the fan. He did, and for the guy, just think about this too, chat. The guy was a Super Bowl winning coach who had no say on his roster. What is this? He didn't have a seat at the table. No seat. Howie Roseman every Sunday said, "You see that guy, Doug? The fourth string on the practice squad? He plays today." Doug, you know what Doug said? You know what Doug had to say? Yes, Uncle Howie. Yes, because he had no say, dude. Doug Peterson went through the most adversity in Philadelphia for a coach. It is what it is.
You know what Doug did when he
It is
had
what it
that?
is.
You know what
if
he
you
did?
hate Doug, you hate Doug. If you love Doug, you love Doug. I'm not going to change your opinion on it. That's your opinion. Fucking stay with it. Die on the hill. But I'm dying on this hill. I will die alone on this Doug Peterson hill because I'm not.
You ain't dying alone on that, Ralph. I'm with you. I'm ready to run through a wall for you, Ralph. Let's go.
Ralph, you know what Doug Peterson did every day in the office after he had to have that conversation with Howie? You know what he did?
What?
He did this.
Oh shit!
Yep, every fucking day.
A lot of broken chairs
Every day.
in that office.
Unreal. That's my rant. Doug Peterson. Listen, everybody's allowed to have opinions. I am dying on this hill. All right? You don't got to like the guy. You don't got to love the guy. All right? But it is what it is, and it's straight facts. Brought to you by Manscaped. Use A2D promo code. Use 20% off.
Hold on.
Right? There you go. Plug. Fucking shave your balls. Goddamn.
No, read the read. Come on, you're doing
Get 20% off. Free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. Free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. All right?
And if you're like us, you like to go to Disney, get that ball deodorant. That shit is on
Very
point.
true. Very
By the
true.
way, you say that you're dying on that hill. According to the chat, Ralphie, let me see. The microphone is dying on that hill. You might want to get a nice,
dude,
a nice towelette.
Sorry,
It's nice
I've
and
been chewing the
drenched.
Trident gum. I've been trying to lose weight, so I've been popping gum in my mouth whenever I get hungry because they say it works a little bit. So I went out to the dollar store. I got the big pack, the 15-pack of gum. You know what I mean? So when I get hungry, I just throw in some Trident gum. So I apologize for this, guys. I apologize for the spitting. You might have to wipe your fucking screen.
This is going to be a t-shirt. Jesse, this is going to be a t-shirt.
Shave your balls. Goddamn.
Ralph 2022.
Yep. I love it.
On that note, speaking of loving it, let's get to locks of the week because
Locks of the week, baby. Here we go.
Definitely not loving it. I'm definitely not.
Frank,
loving
what's the records? Because I heard it's spicy.
It's spicier than a bunch of Hellman's mayonnaise. So
Can I just say this?
I'll pull up the lines and stuff for us.
Oh,
We need
yeah,
like a-
that's right. That's good. Do
yeah, we
DraftKings.
need like a thing where it's like.
Oh, do
called the
DraftKings? I only got FanDuel.
I have DraftKings, so we'll just do that.
I have DraftKings as well.
Frank, how's our what's the standings going into this week?
Well, I would like to mention that we do have an Ofer gopher. And that is one Mr. Brodo who went 0-4.
Damn! Oh my god!
I'm in the trenches. I don't know what to do.
But
I don't know what to Ralphie, you know how lost I am in the trenches right now? The last 2 years, every year we've done this, right? Before it was the Lemon Bowl one year, then it was the Lemon Bowl the next year. So really 4 years, okay? Every year we've done this. I've ended up with a 62% winning percentage, a 64, and last year a 68 tied with Tom for first place. This year, I have like a negative 30 win percentage, and I don't know what to do. I have
You're
no
definitely
idea.
falling. You're falling behind me, that's for sure.
I'm falling behind everybody. I'm in dead last. I'm in dead
Here are
last.
the current standings. So one, Mr. Chromiak is in the lead with a 583 percentage, going at 7-5. Following Mr. Chromiak, it is one Mr. Greg Malakovic.
So you know this goes to hell when Greg's in second. You know that.
Yes.
You know it's just not right. It's just not right.
With a 428 win percentage. Then Tom goes for is at a 40% win percentage with a 6-9 record. Nice. Then we have a tie with me and Ralph Delavecchio at 4-8.
Nice.
And one Mr. Brodo
It's not good.
dead last with repeating 27s across the board with 3-8.
It's not good. I started 3-0. I've gone over the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Damn.
You got the case of the Ofer Gopher.
I
Martian,
pulled one back and it cost me one this week.
Martian,
Yo, by
we'll
the
do
way,
that at the end.
Brewers are a half game out. Brewers are a half game out. But we had the tiebreaker. Okay, Phillies have the tiebreaker. So that means that the Brewers must finish over a game for us. Okay, we got the Nationals left, and hopefully the Astros can clinch here and they just sit everybody and bring the minor league guys up so we can have a cakewalk at the end of the year. All right, it'll be
Martian,
nice.
we'll do that at the end. So everybody in like 15 minutes,
All right.
stay tuned. for the first
I'll get the preacher outfit and the Bible stories.
You can just save the preachers and all that. Anyway, next. Get away from
While
that.
you do that, while you guys do that, I'll have my little piece to contribute to that.
I'm sure you will. Was it 2011
I
trophy
hate
you
you.
got over
I
there? Maybe
hate
some
you.
memorabilia,
No,
some toys.
I hate you.
Mhm.
no, never.
Hi, Jock Talk. How are you?
What
If
up,
you're a
Jock?
Phillies fan, I'm
Hello.
doing terribly. Eagles fan, I'm doing
What's up,
lovely.
Jock
Thanks
Talk?
thanks for asking. Okay, let's start off with the slate. Hopefully, I don't go over, but I probably will. Tomorrow night, you've got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Cincinnati. The spread is so the Bengals are no. Okay, the Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites, and the over/under is set at 47.5.
Yo, big win. Listen, big win for Miami in Miami against the Bills. It got a little dicey for them at the end. But give me Cincinnati in this one at home. Give me the
Yes,
Do we
points.
know if Tua is playing
Yes,
yet?
Steven, you should. Tua, I believe he is. Hold on, let me see.
Well, they
I
were
didn't-
saying he still could be a question mark with that whole controversy from last
Yeah.
week.
Oh, yeah, with
The
concussion,
NFLPA could
right?
hold.
Well, he
Let's
said
see.
it
Have
was
they-
his
have
back
they
and
said
it
anything
wasn't a
about that?
concussion.
Have they said anything about that yet?
No,
Got
they're
it.
reviewing it.
Definitively.
Oh, really?
Back and ankle. He was.
back and ankle. That's more than
He
back
is
and
listed
ankle.
as questionable right now. He is listed as questionable.
That dude has
Tua?
more than back and ankle to worry about, bro. That dude got hit and was stumbling on the ground, bro.
Well, he said that was because his back was tightened up,
Mm.
but that didn't look like a tight back.
They
to
didn't look like no tight back.
me.
Who you got, Frank? Cincinnati, Miami. Miami at 3.5.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Tua's status. I originally had that as a lock, but you know what? I'm scrapping it for Miami, but I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Yeah, I took Cincinnati as well.
No, I think Tua plays. I want to lock. I actually would love to have. I was going to lock the over, but not knowing if he's playing. I'll take Miami at the plus 3.5.
Steven, I already answered it, Steven. If it's Khalil Herbert, you should start Robinson over Khalil Herbert. If it's James Robinson, are you talking about James Robinson? Because I don't think you're starting a Robinson over Justin Herbert.
Yeah. I think it's Khalil.
If it's Khalil, give me Cincinnati. No lock.
All right. Next game.
Next game, you have the Minnesota Vikings traveling down to New Orleans. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites.
Well,
Only
this is
2.5?
it's a London game.
Oh.
So they will get to play in front of the brand new King Charles III.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a minute. Listen, Minnesota, dude.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
I will
Minnesota
take
on this
Minnesota.
That's
Right.
one of my locks, Frank.
All right.
Minnesota money line or points
Spread.
or spread?
And it was at
2.5.
2.5.
Yep, New Orleans is winning. Okay. Next game. The Commanders are traveling to Dallas at 1:00 on Sunday. Dallas. They're 3-point favorites.
Really?
This is a lock for me, Frank. Give me Washington's money line in this one. Washington wins this football game.
That's a weird line to me.
Yeah, that's a weird line. I'm no lock on this one, but I'm gonna take Dallas on this one.
How many points did Dallas score in week 2?
I
Or, I'm
think
sorry,
Dallas
week 3?
wins, but I'm gonna
24.
I'm gonna take.
I think it was 24-16 they won.
Okay. Go ahead, Chrome. Sorry.
I think Dallas wins. I think that the Commanders will cover this game though.
What's the line for that? For
Plus
3.5?
plus 3.
3.
3.
I'm going to do another lock here, Frank.
Okay.
Give me the over in this game. The over-under is set at 41.
And even 41.
Yes. Yeah, with my luck, Ralphie, I would lose it by the half. That's how this year's going. I do think Dallas wins the football game, though. Cooper Rush, listen, do I think there should be a quarterback controversy? No, I think that's funny that like Dallas is dealing with that. And even their owners like playing into it. Cooper Rush, he looks calm in the pocket. He doesn't make too many mistakes, and he gets it to the weapons. And he's pretty accurate for the most part. So for a backup quarterback, he's done a solid job. And also that defense going up against Wentz. Interesting. Real quick, Matthew says, which quarterback should I start in fantasy this weekend, Russ or Stafford? I'm sorry that you have to choose. I'm sorry you have to choose between either of them. I would say Stafford.
Stafford is a fantasy guru.
Yeah, Stafford.
And he doesn't look great, but I would still. Listen.
Yo, Russell.
Matthew,
Denver looks horrendous.
Yeah.
Okay, I know it's early, but they are not looking good, dude.
Oh, Russell's not moving anymore. He doesn't want to move. Like that was his thing. Like getting out in the pocket, extending plays. No.
Maybe he thinks his O line's good enough to block longer. I don't know. But yeah, that is atrocious over there in Denver. Atrocious.
Next game. Did everybody give their picks?
What was it?
Yes.
What was the Minnesota game, right?
No.
No,
It was
it's
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, that was my luck. I apologize.
We did this earlier, but just to go through it again. Jacksonville travels to Philly. Philly 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is set at 46.5.
Birds.
Give me the I got the Birds winning. Jags cover.
No, I have the Eagles winning handily.
Ralphie,
Birds win this.
any locks in this game?
No.
I so badly want to go back to the well and be like, hey, will Jalen Hurts get in the end zone this week? But I'm going to say, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm taking a week off for that one now.
Yeah, I'm good. That burnt me. Especially since I thought he would have 3. He had none. So we're just going to avoid that. We're going to move on. So no locks in this game. That's interesting. I think that's the first week where we've had no locks in any of our home games. Buffalo travels to Baltimore. I think one of the bookmark games of the week for a lot of people. Unfortunately, It's in the 1:00 hour, so they'll be going up against the Eagles. So I'll have that one on tape. The Bills are 3-point favorites. The over/under is set at a whopping 51.
Give me Baltimore. Give me Baltimore at home.
40 boy, it's you.
Yeah, it's you. You know what? I'm gonna call an audible on this one. I'm actually gonna do a lock on this game. Give me the over set at 51 in this game.
Okay. It's
Well,
actually
Frank,
good.
we're gonna have the same one because I'm taking the same lock.
All right.
Sucks because that was the same lock as me also, but I don't know if I should now because I don't know if I can gain ground. I'll go with it though because if I lose, I won't lose that much ground.
You know what? All
I think
that's another lock for you.
Both secondaries are banged up. The Ravens secondary is young. So yeah, I'll go with the over also.
And you want that as a lock as well?
Please. Thank you.
Okay.
Ralphie, you want to make it all 4 for a lock?
No, I'll skip this one.
I was like, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to gain ground. I do have
Buffalo in this game though.
Same.
I also have Buffalo as well.
Everybody go. Ralphie, you go. Ralphie?
Yeah,
Ralphie.
I apologize.
I was going to say, I can't see you because I've got the page open. The New York Jets travel to Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-point favorites. The over-under is set at 41.5.
Steelers, please. Not a lock, just this.
I knew what you were doing, 40 boy. I know. We appreciate you.
Oh no,
I'll
this
take
I
the
do have a
Steelers
lock
in
on
game
this.
as well.
Oh, you do?
The over on this one. 41.5.
Zach Wilson comes back and he's going to light them up, right, Ralphie?
Yep, 41.5.
Pittsburgh.
That is my second lock. I got two more.
Alrighty.
Am I allowed to do like an anytime interception for the Steelers defense? Am I allowed to do that as a lock?
Is that? Hold on.
Is that a lock?
Let me double check if there's actually a prop for that.
Because if there isn't, I feel
Yeah,
like
it should be like Zach Wilson, like over a half.
Oh, yeah.
Over
Yeah.
under.
And anytime
let me
Zach,
see. Yep.
anytime Zach Wilson interception.
Yep, there's a prop for that. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Give
over.
me that
It's like
as
over a
well.
half.
All
That'll
right,
be my
so that
fourth
will be
lock.
the prop. It's going to be a Zach Wilson interception.
Yes.
And that was set at over a half.
0.5. Yeah, 0.5.
Yeah, give me that as my fourth lock. I got to get creative. I'm saying I went over 2 weeks. I got to start trying stuff. I do have the Steelers obviously winning that football game.
I got the Jets winning this game.
Yeah, the Steelers winning this game.
Molly's a bit perturbed by your over bet,
Hey,
Ralphie.
listen, man. Scare money don't make money, Molly. All right.
Whoa.
All right.
He was sitting on that, Maul. I can't even help
Yeah.
you with that, my brother. Cleveland travels to Atlanta. Another game where we'll be questioning why is this on my TV?
I will
Cleveland-
lock this game in. I'm taking the points. I think Atlanta wins outright, but I'm going to take that. What do you have it? Plus 1.5?
Whoa, you read my mind.
Atlanta.
This is
All right,
another
give me
lock for me.
Lock Atlanta plus 1.5.
All right.
Yeah, give me it's plus 1.5, but just give me the Falcons money line on this, Frank, please. I
I'm
got
gonna go
one more lock.
Falcons. I'm gonna go Falcons, but I'm not going to.
I will take the Brownies on this one.
Did they lose to Seattle?
No.
Atlanta?
No.
They won against Seattle?
Yeah, last second.
They beat Seattle.
There was a last second interception by Gino.
I'm going to do 2 locks on this game.
Okay.
Ooh, get crazy.
I'm going to take the over at 47.5 on this game as well.
That's actually a solid
Over at
bet.
47.
Very true. They also played down to competition too, 40 boy. So we'll see. Maybe a high scoring
All
game.
right.
Everybody go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have Seattle traveling to Detroit. The Detroit Lions are 4-point favorites. The over/under is set at 48.
Give me the
I
Lions.
Yeah,
I also have a
Lions.
lock in this game. I got Jamal Williams with any touchdown in this
You
game.
want to talk about a team that's playing good football? Why are they playing good football? Playing good football out there.
swear to God, Frank. I swear to God. I was thinking I was going to have the only person who had that.
But Jamal
Sharing
Williams,
is caring.
Well,
just
it's
take
certain
it, right?
things. Yeah, that's 5. Now I can't move anymore. So that's my 5th one, right?
Yep.
All right. Well,
Unless you want to pull one back.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll get crazy. Can only go up from here. But yeah,
I
give me the
forget what my
Lions.
first. Frank, what was my first lock?
Over 51 with Buffalo and Baltimore.
Okay. Ryan, you guys, there was a bunch of us that had that one, right?
Yeah, I also had it as well.
The
All right,
over?
so in the interest of being different, I'll let you two keep that. I'm going to pull that one back.
See,
I do think it's a lock. I think it's a good one,
I see what's
but I'm
going
going to pull that one back.
I see what's happening now. Chrome's going to be 7 games up on me now because he pulled that one from the chute. He's going to be on the other side of it by not doing anything. I see what we're doing here. I might pull that by the end of this segment. I don't feel good now.
Well, at least
yeah.
I'm not Greg.
Well,
So-
yeah. Molly, that's a really good point. Yeah, Detroit's solid. And when they have
Hey, eight wins for that team is a great year
that's doubling their
compared to
win
what
total.
they're coming off of.
What did they have last year? 2? So no, that's more than doubling. That's terrible math by me.
That's quadrupling.
Yep. Everybody go.
Yes.
The
Give
banged
me
up
Detroit
LA.
winning.
The banged up LA Chargers go down to Houston. The Chargers are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is set at 44.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
I know
Give
what
me
you're-
Give me the
Houston.
Texans.
Yep.
Oh my God! I cannot believe that came out of my mouth.
They're
That's
banged up. They're
crazy.
banged up. They're banged up.
Yeah. Texans
Wow.
upset.
I don't know that the Texans
I don't know
are
if you
going to
would- I
win,
wouldn't
but
even
I at
consider an
least think they're
upset.
going to cover this game. This is going to be a closer game. That line to me just it
Yeah.
screams to be bet.
5.5. 40 boy. 5.5. I got to go Chargers here for my blind loyalty because I said before the year the Chargers would win all the awards, and I just traded for Josh Allen not Josh Allen, Justin Herbert in fantasy. Might be feeling like I want to trade for Josh Allen after this week, though, if the ribs continue. Next game, the Chicago Bears travel to the Giants. The now 2-1 New York Football Giants. The Chicago Bears are 3-point underdogs.
This is a
Give me the
lock for
Bears.
me, Frank.
All right.
The over on the Bears and Giants at 39.5.
Ralph's going with the overs this week. I like it.
Yep. So I am done. Those are my 4.
You can go 5.
Give me
I
the
went
Bears
5.
in this one.
You can go 5, Ralphie.
No, I like to stay at
Ralph
4.
had 4.
Even.
I'm going to take. I'm going to take the. Geez.
I'm
just
sorry,
hope
but
it-
geez is not a team.
Exactly. Thank you for using my line on me.
No problem.
Give me the Bears on this one.
All right,
But I do wish that it's going to be a tie. I agree with that, Molly.
The next game, you've got Tennessee traveling to Indianapolis. Indianapolis are 3-point favorites. The over-under is set at 42.5.
I have a lock on this game. I'm going to go Titans money line against the Colts. Colts coming off a huge win against Kansas City.
yeah,
Are they
Colts
able to
win
ride
this.
that momentum?
Give me
Yeah,
the
I mean, I'll
Colts,
take the-
no locks.
Yeah, not a lock, but I'll take the Titans at +3 on this.
Next game, we have the New England Patriots traveling to Green Bay. The Packers, at this current moment, are 9.5-point favorites with the over-under set at 40.5.
Yeah, they don't
Nope.
even know if Mac Jones is playing. Give me the Packers, please.
Yeah,
I know where
it's-
Frank's
it's-
going.
Well, I'm actually going to take the Packers on this one with the points, and that
That's
is
such a
my
cop-out.
lock. I know because one, it's looking like it's probably going to be Brian Hoyer under center and not my guy Bailey Zappi.
Oh, the disrespect to the
Damn.
I know.
Who was the what was that fucking guy's name, Ryan? Kevin's favorite quarterback.
Jared
Jarrett
Stidham.
Stidham, as I dubbed him.
Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's the backup for he followed Josh McDaniels, and he's the backup to Derek Carr in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh
Wasn't he
McDaniels.
supposed to be like the next Tom Brady?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was supposed
Yeah.
to succeed him, and then they
He
got
was-
Cam
yeah.
Newton.
He was supposed to be the quarterbacks of quarterbacks, and he
That's right.
sucks.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
tried telling many
the
a
one.
Kevin.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be Brian Hoyer under center. If it is confirmed that it's going to be a high ankle sprain for Mac Jones, give me Green Bay with the 9, and that'll be my fourth lock of the week.
All right, moving on here. We have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Carolina. Carolina. Am I reading this right? Carolina's 1.5-point favorites.
Yes.
Wow.
With the over-under set at 43.
Give me Arizona.
Arizona.
Zona.
Arizona.
You know what? I'm doing another audible. I'm going to add another lock on this one. Give me Cardinals with the points.
Fuck. Frank? How many you got? 7?
It's going to be 6 this week.
Oh, my God.
Well, if Tom did it last week, somebody's got to go 6 this week.
I didn't even know we could do that many.
I didn't know we were allowed to do that, Frank.
Well, Tom did it last week.
Oh my
I stopped
God.
at 5.
I stopped
mean,
at
4.
5.
Yeah, I stopped that.
I meant 4. I thought 4 was the limit.
Well,
I
Frank,
thought
you're gonna
5.
have to
No,
pay-
5. I thought 5 was the limit. I went 5.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
4 or 5.
What the hell's going on
Right,
here?
6 is
Well,
a
it's in
group.
week 4 and
So
we've
you-
already lost it.
All right, so that's fine. If we're doing 5, then I'm going to backtrack on one. I want you to add Derrick Henry as an anytime scorer on mine.
You couldn't
Yeah,
have gone
get
back to
screwed.
the over/under. You couldn't have helped me. You couldn't have gone
No.
back to that. Damn. I'm like,
So
oh,
that's
he's
my
back
third,
there.
and I have 2 more. That's my third. I got 2 more.
This is getting nuts. 3 more games. Denver Broncos travel to the Raiders. The Raiders are 2.5-point favorites. The over/under set at 45.5.
There's no way the Raiders
Lock
going
this in. Lock this in. There's no way that the Raiders are going 0-4 this week.
There's,
I'm taking the Raiders at the 2.5.
there's
There's
no way.
no
right?
way. It is impossible. If they go 0-4, they
Might as
need
well
to
just trade
fire their head
Devontae back to
coach.
Green Bay.
Yeah, and just fire your head coach. It's done. That team is too talented.
Yo, remember when
Mhm.
Josh McDaniels was supposed to be like the
talented.
next thing? Now on 3 looking real good, bud.
Not a good
Okay.
start.
Nope.
All right. So that game
The
was your
Raiders.
lock.
I will take that as my 4th, and I have a 5th.
All right.
I'm going with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
No lock. No lock.
I'm going to take the Raiders on this one.
Finally, 2 more games. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs traveling to Tampa at the moment. And I don't know if it'll be affected by the weather. I guess we would know in the next 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The over/under is set at 45, and the Chiefs are 1-point favorites. So I mean, take that for what you will.
I'm going to take the Bucks on this one,
Really?
regardless if it's going to be in Minnesota or not.
I'm going Kansas City.
I also am going with Kansas City on this.
Especially after a loss. Andy Reid after a loss. Ralphie?
What was the game again? Sorry, I got dazed out.
Kansas
Somebody-
City. I know you're thinking about Doug. I understand.
Yeah.
Kansas City going to Tampa.
Oh, KC. That dude, I don't even know. Is that the game has been moved?
Has it been officially moved?
I guess so.
Let's find out.
Corner Bobby. Bobby
I
Rose.
mean, I would be
I would
honestly
be shocked if
yeah.
it wasn't.
that stadium, that arena, or that stadium and the field conditions are going to be so bad. God knows what the situation is going to be like around there.
Especially
I think
travel.
right now.
Forget about the field conditions, just traveling in and out of that area.
Either way, I'm sticking with it. I still take Kansas City in this one.
Yeah.
So if the game gets moved, it would be like a Tuesday game, huh? Like a Monday night game, they would just move it to Monday night, or like
I think it's just
think
they
Would
moved
it
it.
No. They're
No.
moving the location of the game.
It's in Minnesota.
oh, they
still the
moved the
same.
entire game to Minnesota.
Yeah, the location,
Yes.
not the time. The
Oh,
location.
gotcha.
It's Sunday Night Football. Yeah, it's Sunday Night Football.
No, when he said moved, I thought
No, I
you
understand.
know, I thought they moved it to like a Monday night or Sunday, Tuesday night game.
Well, Frank's checking that final game of the slate.
Yeah,
LA
no
Rams.
official word yet.
LA Rams are traveling to San Francisco. San Francisco, 1.5-point favorites. Over under set at 42.
I'm going to take San Francisco, and I'm going to lock in
Yeah, give me San Fran.
Debo Samuel, anytime scorer.
And I also have my last lock of this week. Give me the Rams money line.
I'm
Is
going
that number
Rams.
7?
I'm going Rams. No locks. Was that 7 for you?
No, it's 6.
Yeah, I'll be checking the tape on that one.
Frank, you're really
No,
pushing it.
because you know why? Because I originally had a lock on the Bengals game, but I pulled it back. I didn't. That's probably why you thought I said 7.
Is the trade official if it's not officially announced?
Ralphie,
What?
your score, Ralph goes what?
Oh,
Just
so
what,
I
mate?
picked San Fran.
I know. I wanted to hear from you again.
Yeah, I agree
Face.
with Chrome. I picked San Fran.
All right. So Greg also had his locks.
There we go. The 20,000 picks. There we go.
All right, here we go. So Greg's locks are the Lions, at 4.5. Titans at 3.5. Jets with the +3. Chargers with the -5. Rams with the points. And for his locks, for his world famous anytime touchdown parlay,
It's the wind.
we got,
It's the wind.
yes, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Austin Eckler, and Devontae Adams all having an anytime touchdown.
Touchdown. All right. Good shit.
I got fucked on mine this week, by the way. My anytime touchdown parlay.
Oh, yeah. You had Jones and he didn't even score one.
Dude,
They
we
don't
had
Fumble
that
the ball on the
locked
1 yard
in.
line, Chrome. That's what happens when you
Week
fumble the ball on the 1 yard line.
we had that locked in the first half, and he fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line. I had DK, Cordarrelle, and Cup, and him, and Aaron
Yep.
Jones. Fumbled the ball on the 1 in the first half.
Okay. By popular demand, not because we want to do this, but after some of the events from tonight, we feel like we have to
come
do it.
on. We don't got to do it.
It's going to be real quick. Listen, the viewers asked us to do it. I don't want to do it, but we
Listen.
have to do it.
While you guys do that, I'm going to say a prayer and congratulations to this gentleman right here for
Yeah,
number
congratulations. 700.
Somebody
Let's
who's already in the playoffs, by the way. Let's speak
Let's
for a
do it.
moment and let's gather our arms in prayer. Well, out of the 4 of us, not the guy up in the top right, that his team is already clinched, and they're talking about home run titles. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Phillies.
All right, listen, the last time the Phillies were in the playoffs was 2011. Okay? I was a sophomore in high school. I am now 26 years old. Okay?
And a half.
I'm 26 now. For the love of Christ, can
What
I
happened in
please
2011?
see a red October? For, it would be nice
You
to
can.
see it again.
You can't say
Shut
no.
up. Shut up.
This is a time for family here, Chrome. You've been
Yeah,
denied.
this is ridiculous.
Silence.
Shoot.
Yeah, you think you got chat. You think I'm bad with my Lakers shit? Mother Chrome's worse with the Cardinals shit. Worse. You think I'm bad with my Lakers? Oh man. Wait until the playoffs start with Chrome. You'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
All I want to say is this, Ralphie, because I want you to continue your rant in a minute. Is it too much to ask for things to not just forget about easy? I don't expect that with the Phillies. I'd be foolish to expect that.
You shouldn't be dropping games to the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. They're having 2,000 people at the game. Okay? The Cubs are done. They're out of the playoff race, bro. What are we doing? Win goddamn baseball games. Now you gotta win. You gotta win tomorrow night. This is 4 against Chicago, right? Or is it just 3?
I believe it's 3 this series.
And then we got 4 against Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it's
Okay.
Astros.
Houston.
Listen,
Yeah.
you have a chance to have if you just go on a winning streak for 3, just give me a 3-game win streak. Fuck it, at this point, give me a 4-game win streak. All right? But you got to win 4 straight for me. All right? Win 4 straight, we're in. Okay? You should win tomorrow, and you should sweep Washington. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You can drop 1 against Washington. But if you drop 1, you better win 3 straight. That's all I got to say. Okay? Because I'm sick and tired of the September collapses here in Philadelphia for this baseball team. They almost a football team. All right, so
Ralph,
for
this would look
baseball
good on
team.
you, buddy.
No, it wouldn't.
I
That's
put
horrendous.
you back on screen to be
That's
nice, and you
horrendous,
couldn't
dude.
handle it.
That is horrendous. Okay? And listen, Phillies fans out there. All right? We've been through shit. Okay? After that run from 07 to 12 with that great team we had, 13 to what? 18? Terrible baseball in the city for 5 years. Okay? Terrible. Nobody was going to the ballpark. Okay? They had to get people. They're having 20. It seemed like every week there was a hot dog night just to get people to come to the ballpark for those 5-year stretch. Okay? Listen, we need this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need to win this. I need a 5-game win streak from these Phillies right now. I need a win tomorrow night, and I need you to sweep Washington. That's it. Just get in, and I'll shut up. If the Phillies make the playoffs, I'll never complain about the Phillies for 3 weeks. Okay?
Only 3?
Only 3 weeks. All right? You just got to get in. All right? Because I'm sick and tired of you guys tickling my balls. By the way, Manscaped, tickling my balls every time September comes around. We're in a prime position to make the playoffs, and you guys piss it away. I can't have it no more. All right? I doubt it with Gabe, the 2 years when Gabe was here. I'm not doing it again with Rob Thompson. I need you guys to make the playoffs. This is the closest we've been to making the playoffs in about 10 years. All right?
Where's this Boston accent coming back?
Yeah,
from?
we got
It's just me.
yes.
Okay? It's just me. But listen,
When was the last
Right?
time they made the playoffs?
2011.
Do you refuse to
Shut up.
behave? Damn.
All right? And I still see that
Start
Matt
looking.
Holliday hit down the right field line for a double. Okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, Ryan Howard's still
Shit.
falling. Ryan Howard
Yep.
still hasn't
All
gotten
right?
off.
Like I said, last time the Phillies made the playoffs, I was a sophomore. Me and Ryan were a sophomore in high school, and Frank was probably partying at some college on the weekend. All right?
Well, I mean,
Frank,
It
don't
is
make
what
me
it
remove
is.
you too. Don't make me remove you too.
what?
Don't leave me here with just Ralph. I don't want to do that.
All right? We need this. The city
Of
needs it.
course.
Okay?
Ralph.
Eagles are playing well, 3-0. We're 3-0. Eagles are playing good.
Ralph. Forget about your needs. Forget about my needs. Okay? Is it too much to friggin' ask to back
we
yourself
just-
into the playoffs? It's bad enough. I got to root for the friggin' Cardinals and this guy down here. It's bad enough. I got to root for
Yeah,
him,
that's horrendous.
and they didn't do us
Mhm.
any favors. Well, you got to put that garbage up again. I just
Throw them out.
want to get in the
Hey.
playoffs.
We have
And if
one
he
against
does-
the Cubs tomorrow at 2:20. I need
Yeah.
everybody in the city of Philadelphia fucking locked in. You not
Great,
work behind the
great,
desk.
great.
Yo, listen.
Oh, no,
Listen.
I know. I'm sick
You
of
lock
listening.
behind. If you got an office, you gotta be at the office. Listen, tell your boss, hey boss, 2:20 comes, I gotta watch the game. All right, you get fired, you get fired. This is bigger than any of us here in the city of Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired. We're all gonna
Yeah.
get fired to watch the Phillies break our hearts. This time at 1:00
Again.
instead of 8:00.
Yeah.
Be my freaking guest. They
And we
have
have 4 against
they have-
Washington and 3 against the Astros. What we really need to happen though is to go on a win of this 5-game win streak, and we need the Astros to clinch so they can play the minor leaguers.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
that's
Yeah.
what needs to happen.
That's probably
Listen, dude,
what's gonna
you
happen.
want to say you're a good baseball team? This is it.
Jeez,
saying
Molly.
Who the hell's
Gosh.
saying that? Who the hell's saying that?
The guys on the base on the Phillies,
That's
they want to
cute.
talk like they're a bit. They want to talk like they're a good baseball team.
First off, you can't be a good baseball team if you can't beat a good baseball team. You can't
Yeah.
even beat a bad baseball team right now.
Right.
You can't beat a bad baseball.
Well,
7.
then, listen, not my fault, not my problem.
It feels like it's freaking hot. I'm sweating in here. Forget about the magic number being 7. It feels like it's 70.
I don't care. I don't care about the magic number. Magic number
Well, I
doesn't
do
mean shit.
because guess what? That's the only damn chance, and most of it's going to be the Brewers losing because they're also not great or good, even though they're playing way better than us in September. Seems like every team is, whether it's the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, the freaking Yankees, any team that lives and exists feels like they're better in September than the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
We just gotta get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. But I need everybody locked in tomorrow at 2:20, please. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'll be sitting
Yeah.
on
Lock
the edge
in.
of my seat.
Can I just make a quick statement?
Oh my god.
You
Oh
gonna
my
behave
God.
yourself now? You gonna behave yourself?
So the Phillies haven't made the playoffs in 10 years. I'm not saying about 2011. They have made the playoffs 15 times ever. You know, in my lifetime, they've made the playoffs. The Cardinals have made the playoffs 19 times.
Oh my god. Shut
Just
up,
my
bro.
lifetime. That's for the
Shut
Phillies
up.
since 1915.
Shut up.
I haven't seen the Cardinals in the playoffs since I was 36 years old. You know how long ago that was?
Yeah,
Last
50
year.
years.
The
You
last time the Phillies made the playoffs, I was fat.
Yeah, you still are.
That's all I gotta say.
Sorry, Frank.
Shout out to my man for hitting his home runs. 700, baby.
I don't think you heard that, Ralph.
I heard it.
Chrome, I say this as a friend.
Asshole.
I say this as a friend, a dear friend who shared chicken wings and cheesecake and pizza with you on Sunday. Okay.
We broke bread.
Yes.
Breaded chicken.
By the way, the cheesecake was pretty good. I ate that the other night.
It was. I told you you were gonna missing that out. That would have been a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, Ralphie. So I say this with all love and
You
due
keep the
respect.
Tupperware, Ralph.
After
Yeah,
those
well.
comments, Chrome, I say this with all due respect and love.
Yeah.
You go to hell for saying that. In this difficult time, you go to hell. Straight to it. Don't even waste time. Just jump on the highway, go straight there. Damn you for saying that stuff. This is a time of dire need and hope. And you're not helping things. You and your great organization over there, damn you. I have no other words. Frank?
I'm all good over here. We can end it like that.
No. I'm not
Phillies
good.
make the
I'm just
goddamn
done. I'm not good. I'm just done.
So
I'll
go
be good when they
Birds.
make the playoffs. Oh, yeah, sure. Sure, yeah.
Let's end on a good note.
Yeah. Hey, Eagles players, don't watch the Phillies. I don't want any of that stuff spreading over to you. Damn it. Martian, great question to end it. It was such a great day, too. And then the Phillies just decided to exist.
The Phillies, dude. The Phillies.
Phillies.
Ralph, what year were you born?
96. 5 days before me. We have that
96.
bond. We have that bond.
Both of you 96?
Yep.
Yeah, we understand each other. I'm sure he's going to come with some lovely stat that is anti-Philly and pro St. Louis in about 35
I mean,
seconds.
from 2000 to 2019, the Cardinals made the playoffs.
Oh my God, here we go. You're such a
Almost
dude.
every year. They were in 50% of the National League Championship Series
You're
between
a crumb,
that
dude.
time.
You're a crumb, bro.
2
Yo,
World
chat,
Series titles.
Chat, you think I'm bad with my Lakers shit?
4
telling
World
you,
Series appearances.
He's even worse with the Cardinals, bro. So, chat, when it's basketball
Oh, it's
season,
going to be, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be 1,000 times worse than it ever was from all the bullshit I've seen with people where they're crying saying, I wanted to play the Cardinals, but now I don't because the league's going to cheat because they don't want Albert Pujols to not advance in the playoff. Now, all that, first of all, I said the same thing as you guys. I always say I'd like to see the Phillies get in for you guys because I enjoy when everybody in the fam is happy.
Oh,
However,
yeah, you're
if
certainly
the fam's
enjoying it
gonna
with these
be-
comments.
If the fam is going to be a bunch of crumbs like I've been seeing over the last couple of days and a lot
Name
of
names.
comments,
Name
chats,
names.
and things.
Name names.
Oh,
Name
our
names.
buddy Drew Rogers, Rod Adelsberger, I can't say his name.
Adelsberger.
Adelsberger.
Okay. And I love those guys, but they're being real crumbs about it. And I called him out in there, and I call him out at Brian Wilson. All these crumbs out here. Wilson's just doing it just to prod, poking prod, because that's what he does.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, my
Actually.
Wait.
That's a pretty crazy
Yo,
stat. I didn't know that.
you got to use that, dude. That's actually good shit. That's actually good shit right there.
Hey, Molly Mole, that's content right there, brother. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
But after
Yeah,
hearing all that shit,
Frank,
my sanity
wait.
thanks you, Molly. I'm going to say that.
I will tell you, after hearing that bullshit, I will be unbearable right now
Katie
with
was a
this
Supersonics,
because of that.
Chrome, I just ask you to
They
be
became
unbearable to the
Thunder
correct
year
people.
later.
Yeah,
I
in
know we
09.
stink.
Yeah.
I know we stink.
And they
Chrome.
drafted Russell Westbrook that year.
Listen, I'll eat my Snickers in the off season when the Phillies are eliminated, and
I
then
hate
I'll come
you.
back, and next year I'll be cheering for you guys.
Chat, You thought I was
to
bad
do
with
well
the
again.
Lakers. You're seeing an answer.
Chrome,
It's gonna be
Chrome,
it's gonna be unbearable.
I'll just end it with this, Chrome. I would wish you and say I hope you have a terrible evening, but it's already morning, so I hope you have a terrible morning.
Thanks,
That's what I'll
buddy.
say to you. That's what I'll say to you. And you're
Thanks.
all that
I hope
stuff
when you drink your
over there,
coffee,
all that
it's fucking
stuff.
ice cold.
I hope those chicken wings you get next time, while there's a very short chance of this happening, I hope they stink. And I hope I'm nowhere to be found near it because I don't want to be anywhere near bad chicken wings.
Put on the jersey of greatness now.
That's so bad.
I hope it gets ripped right on the air.
That's so bad.
I'm looking for a good segue to this.
You're such a crumb, dude.
Man, it looks good with a Sixers hat. Maybe it'll give a little luck to them.
Yeah, great organization with maybe this year organization. We'll get to that at the end of October. That'll be fun.
I'm actually very excited to talk about that.
I am that, yeah, and I'm excited to talk about them until the moment I'm not.
Possible? Is it physically possible that James Harden actually lost 100 pounds this year?
No shot.
I don't know. I've never lost weight before.
If you lost, so hold on. If you lost over 100 pounds, that means the dude had to be over 200 pounds.
No. That means he would have had to be like almost 300 pounds there.
Oh my God, Ralph.
No, motherfucker.
Ralph.
Listen.
Ralph.
The guy's what?
Ralph, how much do you think Steph Curry? Ralph, how much do you think Steph Curry weighs right now? He's about $185.
James Harden doesn't weigh 100 pounds.
No way. Steph Curry's $185.
Yeah, Ralph. Are you the worst gauge of fucking weight I've ever seen in my life?
Probably, bro. Probably.
Steph Curry weighs $185, so we're talking if Harden legitimately lost 100 pounds, he had to be like 315, like
That's a
more
fat
than the Undertaker,
motherfucker,
Ralph.
Curry.
Your boy, the Undertaker, he had to weigh more than the Undertaker.
Oh my God, Curry
Can
is
we just
185.
accept the fact that he was saying it figuratively and not literally?
Thank you, Martian.
Is
Ralph, that
185?
math is way off, brother.
You
He's
literally
like, oh, he has to be 200 pounds if he lost 100. So you're saying it's 100 pounds.
No, what I was saying here. Listen.
Oh.
Alexa Bliss may weigh 100 pounds, Ralph.
Listen.
He doesn't
Okay,
know who that is. He has no idea who that is.
I maybe missed overspoke. You know, it is what it is,
Missed overspoke.
You know?
Missed
Overspoke.
overspoke.
you know. All right,
Oh, boy. Fun
Yes.
stuff.
that was a good night.
Over.
All right, let's do this FanDuel read and we can get out of here. Where is it? In back in. All right, show is sponsored by FanDuel. FanDuel is FanDuel. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
FanUp.
Uh-oh.
Show is sponsored by FanUp. Listen, FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp.app. Also, Frank loves them. The ball deodorant uses every day before he goes to work. Get 20% off free shipping
no
with
comment.
code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw away your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Manscaped.com. All right. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, pro fan talk tomorrow. Birds of feather tomorrow.
Yep. Birds of a feather. We'll be doing reactions to the Dolphins game tomorrow.
Yes.
Chrome, you'll be
Oh,
there.
by
right?
the way, love
You'll
him
be
or
on
hate
the
him.
show.
Got to say, love him or hate him, too. Shout out to Aaron Judge for tying Mickey Mantle. So
Yeah, 61. 61.
that's it.
Not-
It's it.
Not
You don't have, whether you love him or not, man. It's history. It deserves to be mentioned.
Listen,
On a
it's-
sports show, it deserves a mention.
I
And
agree.
congratulations.
And now let's talk about some local MMA content.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. The stretch of events for you, Chrome. You went on an anti-Philly, then a pro-Cardinals. Now you're talking about Aaron Judge. I mean, what the hell? What the hell are we doing?
Isn't this what we do when we wrap it up? We just rapid fire at each other?
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Hey, Ralph, I got to ask one last question.
Oh, this could be
Does it matter if the Lakers want Westbrook on the team or not?
It does not matter because he doesn't care. It does not matter.
for Russell Westbrook, for Frank Vespi, for Michael Chromiak, for Ralph Delavecchio. I'm Ryan Brodo, I think.
220, everybody. Phillies better win tomorrow. This game might be a long weekend for the Philadelphia Phillies.
I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat watching not the Phillies, but weekly airing of The Price is Right because that'll probably be more entertaining.
Yep.
Later, everybody.
See you.